Hello, and welcome to the Metalheads podcast. My name is George.
I'm John.
And we are on the road, I-95 to be specific, and we are headed up to Philadelphia for the Decibel Metal and Beer Fest. Will's going to meet us there, so he'll be here eventually. And I know I'm not supposed to talk about the weather, but the weather kind of sucks. It's raining, and so far, 95... It looks like most of the traffic's going the other way, so hopefully it stays that way. So here we are. We're headed to 2 days of metal and beer, the first annual Decibel Metal and Beer Fest. And any words of wisdom, John?
Yes.
Try not to die as the people in front of us slam on their brakes.
Yeah, exactly. Just as I go to talk, everyone slams on their brakes. Yeah, drink a lot of water today, folks, because we're going to be drinking a lot of beers and have fun. Of course, that means nothing to anybody other than people who are going. So, but any words of wisdom? Looking forward to this because I've been looking forward to this for a long time, and I'm looking forward to finally meeting Adem, the author. And sorry, Adem, I don't want to butcher your last name until I actually ask you in person.
Tepedelen or
something, yes. He is the author of the Brewtal Truth Guide to Extreme Beers, which Will and I have consumed and enjoyed every beer in the book, of the featured beers in the book, outside of 3. And there's like 115 or 16. And we've gotten to know him, Adem, via social media by texting and tweeting and stuff that we're drinking from the book. So I'm really looking forward to meeting him. Actually, more than anything else. Not a man crush, just looking forward to meeting the guy who's helped me drink a lot of beer the last couple of years.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I hope to at least get to meet him as well. Also looking forward to hopefully seeing Zach again. We just saw Zach from Chemist last week or so. Last Thursday. When we were at the Atlas Brew Works Metal Night, and True Brewing was visiting.
Well, it was
as part of the Craft Brewers Conference. Yes.
And it was the last night of Craft Brew. Well, they did stuff on Friday, but anyone doesn't know, they had the Craft Brewers Conference. It was in D.C. this year, and so there's a lot of breweries in town, and there's a lot of events all day long, into the night at different places, different venues in the city, popular beer bars and stuff, and Atlas had an event that also paired up with Metal Night, so we got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, so we got a chance to talk with Zach a little bit, and that was awesome. So hopefully we'll see him again, and I'm hoping that we might also see his bandmate Dan. Both Dan and Zach were on one of our previous episodes, and it would be nice to meet the man, shake his hand, and all that. And of course, all the different breweries. I thought there were 16 breweries, but I swear I saw something that said 17.
Yeah, there's a lot more than we thought at first. So I think there's 30 total beers or 32 total beers. I can't remember. Maybe 34. I don't, something like that. But
there were 16 or 17 different breweries. I just don't remember. Yeah. Originally, I thought it was 16 because I was thinking it would be like 8 and 8. But I swear I saw like an ad or something that said 17 breweries, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they're breaking the breweries up by day.
No, I was just thinking I have to try 8 beers today and 8 beers tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, okay. Good luck.
Although you're right, some of these have multiple beers, so
each brewery has 2 beers.
Oh dear Lord! So enjoy our sobriety while it lasts. It's not long for this world, apparently.
Yes, and it should be said that these are metal breweries too. So obviously that's why it's a metal and beer fest. But it's not just 16 breweries or 17 breweries they threw together. All of them have some kind of a metal connection to the brewery. So
now we'll get into the bands that are playing today in a moment. But why don't we talk about maybe some of the beers that we're looking forward to? I don't have the specific list in front of me, unfortunately, but I know I can think of a couple off the top of my head that obviously I want to try anything from Hammerheart. That's the dude Austin, the dude from Panopticon. That's his brewery. I've heard good things, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm also hoping to get finally a taste of this Three Floyds Permanent Funeral, the Pig Destroyer beer that has I've heard much talk about, but have not had a chance to try.
It is very good, and I will be having another myself. I've had it a few times. It's good beer.
Cool. So, what are you looking forward to drink-wise?
Okay, so yeah, I'm a big Three Floyds fan. They are real big in our house. We love them, myself and the missus. So definitely going to drink their stuff. And Cigar City has a beer I've never had before. I've had Highlight a gazillion times. I don't need to have it again, but they have something I haven't tried before, so I want to get that. I want to definitely check out Burial from Asheville, North Carolina, because I will be hopefully going there pretty soon on my way to Prague Power. It looks like I'm going to be driving down again. Obviously, I want to try the beer that we did not have from True Brewing at the Atlas event. I'd like to try another one of theirs.
That was Restarter, I believe it was called.
No, it's actually something different from anything on the menu, so that they or anything they had on the board when we were there. So I think
well, there was the one that was on the board there, but we didn't get to try.
I think it was Restarter because they sold out of it already.
Yeah.
Of which, by the way, yes, we did give shit to Zach about that. Of course, he had zero control of that, but it was just fun to say because he was standing there talking to us at the time. I was like, great, now I have to drink the Decibel again, which actually is a very good beer.
Yeah, I like that.
Festival double IPA. So there's a lot of beers I want to have from various other breweries that I'm thinking more that IPAs might be the way to go today instead of the stouts, even though there's some spectacular stouts on the list. I just don't want to burn out, after my third stout, and feel like I just ate a horse. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, and then of course there's the Atlas Hasawodo. Hail Satan, worship doom. If I'm going to pronounce it like Will does, you gotta have that on a Hail Satan, worship doom.
Yeah, it's funny. Will's kind of doing a little Hetfield when he does that. I just expect to ooh yeah after that or something.
Give me fuel, give me Hasawodo.
Yeah. And for the record, we've had a few of those already because we had those at the Atlas event last week too. So
yeah, that was tasty.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll have that one. Depends if their head brewer twists my arm to drink it, which I'm sure he'll say something.
I'm sure he will.
Yes.
All right, so the lineup today is going to be impossible to see. There we are. So opening the show today is Crypt Sermon.
Yes.
Who, of course, were in our Steve from our. I realized when we were talking to Zach, I was calling him Jason. His name's Steve Jansen, and Jason, whatever. But anyway, so Steve was on our last episode, and we're all really looking forward to seeing Crypt Sermon. Any comment on Crypt Sermon before I move on?
No, that's one of they were definitely one of the bands I circled off right away that I wanted to see when I first saw the lineup. So I'm down with that, and it's the first band, so let's get it going.
Yeah, first band, so we got to make sure we're there on time. Then after them is Krieg. Excuse me, American black metal band. I'm not a huge fan, but I've known about them for a long time. Definitely want to see what they're about. After that is Panopticon, and I'm really curious about this one because I've not always been a huge Panopticon fan, based on the production of some of the earlier material. It just wasn't doing it for me. However, the last album I thought was a vast improvement in the sound quality, and the music was really good. So I want to know what they sound like live, essentially.
Yeah, my big deal about seeing them is that it's a one-man show that now has a band, so that's what I want to see, seeing as they haven't really played much live, so I'm big on that too. Yeah,
apparently, I don't know if he's doing it. I would assume he is this time since both bands are here, but the drummer for Falls of Rhoros plays live with Panopticon, so I guess that'll be interesting to see. I don't know. It'll be good, or at least it'll be interesting. After that is Immolation, old school veteran death metal band. I'll give them a listen. I don't really care either way. Maybe they'll knock my socks off. I don't know.
So I think it should be stated at this point, this will be now the fourth band. And I don't think we're doing a band here. I think it's going to be a lot worse than that. So who knows at that point what I'm going to be doing, where I'm going to be hanging out, who I'm going to be talking to. So we'll see. It depends on the setup.
Exactly. Yeah. By that point, we could be 3 sheets to the wind, and who knows where we are. After that is I haven't started drinking yet. Municipal Waste. Local favorites from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, and also a band that loves a good party. So I've seen them before, so it's always good to see them, but I'm not really like, oh, I gotta see them. So we'll see. Followed by the night's headliner, Agoraphobic Nosebleed. Never really been a big fan of this, although John just brought it to my attention today that the main guy in this band is Scott Hall from Pig Destroyer. So it does incline me a little bit more towards checking it out. Not exactly my style of music, but I don't know. John?
It's not a genre that I listen to much, so I'll check them out, and then I'll probably wander over and get a beer.
All right. So that's what's on the menu for today. And depending on our state of mind and consciousness at the end of the night, maybe we'll give you a post-mortem as well. And possibly some updates from the show. We're not entirely sure how this is going to work. Supposedly we have a press pass waiting for us so that we ought to be able to bring the microphone in. However, yeah, anyway, we'll see. So either way, we'll talk to you later.
Okay, we'll talk to you then.
Hello. This is George.
This is Will.
And this is John.
We are here to tell you about last evening's festivities at the Decibel Metal and Beer Fest. Will was there early, setting up with Atlas, and John and I got in a little bit before the doors opened, so we got to walk around and check the place out before all the masses got there. And as soon as we walked in, John and I were just like, oh, this place is so fucking huge compared to the Fillmore in Silver Spring. I mean, it's got to be like twice as big.
Oh yeah, it's way nicer. It's like a premier venue to see shows. Like it's an amazing place. I mean, everything is done so well. There's like 3 different levels. There's like a gazillion bars. Like it is really well done. It's really well done.
It's corporate, but it's planned out well. There's plenty of space. It was actually cool in there with all those people. I didn't feel like I was sweating my balls off for once at a show.
No, they had the air conditioning on. It was actually kind of cold at some point, but it was perfect. It was perfect.
So we got in there. We got to catch part of Crypt Sermon sound checking, and we were like, wow, okay, this sounds really good. Now, of course, what we didn't know was that Arthur Rizek was running sound for those guys. So,
wait, who's that?
Yeah, don't ask Jay. So we're like, wow, this is going to be good if that's what the sound is like here. And then John and I promptly got lost in all the beers, I think. So we didn't do any recording yesterday during the day, other than our trip down here.
I think you should state for the record that we got lost in the beers before the first band came on, which was Crypt Sermon. I think at one point I walked up to Will and I was like, man, this is definitely going to be a shit show tonight. And it's like 5:30. It's opened at 5.
Yeah. So if you're listening and you don't know what we've been talking about for the last several episodes, so we're up in Philadelphia. We're at the Decibel Magazine's Metal and Beer Festival. So it's literally all bands and a select few breweries from around really the world, because McKellar's here from Denmark and Unibrew's from Montreal. And is there another one from overseas? I forget. But you have all these breweries that have been hand-selected that are metal-themed breweries to come pour beer here. And, oh, by the way, it's a 2-day heavy metal show as well. Mm-hmm. So my brewery, Atlas, was lucky enough, privileged enough to be hand-selected by the good folks at Decibel Magazine to pour the beer. So we brought our 2 beers, brought a Rowdy Rye Ale, which is one of our flagships, and then we brought our Hail Satan Worship Doom Black Saison, as we call it, the Satanic Saison.
Also known as Hasawodo.
Yeah, the official name is Hasawodo, but it stands for Hail Satan Worship Doom, which, if you are a Bong Ripper fan, you will get the reference. And what was great is the guys at Neshaminy Creek Brewing, which is in Pennsylvania, which were right next to us, one of the dudes there had a sweatshirt on, the Hail Satan Worship Doom sweatshirt. I mean, it was perfect.
Yes. Oh, and for the record, Unibrew is sponsoring this festival. So they have their beer that they brewed with the... I don't even know how to describe him. Dave Mustaine from Megadeth.
And Dave was in the house.
Yes.
And I guess I'll go off on this tangent now. But, first let's just say Crypt Sermon did open the show, and they did sound fucking amazing.
Yes. Oh, my God.
And they played 2 new songs, and, John and I were watching, and I don't know who said it to who. I think John said it to me. That look at his fucking fingers moving. He's like,
Talking about Steve Jansen.
yeah. Steve's hands were just flying, and you're like, this is Doom, but it sounded so good, and he looked so fucking badass. It was an incredible set.
So it's funny when we go back to the last episode when we interviewed Steve from Crypt Sermon, and we were asking him do you get bored? Or I think somebody asked him do you get bored playing Doom compared to Trench Rise, this death metal band? And he's like, no. And now you can see why. He's on fire the whole time he's up there. It's playing. It was great to talk to him and then just see him right up on stage.
Yeah, I will say it was funny. He was with us before everything started. Around, I don't know, we saw him around 5, I think.
Yeah.
And he talked to us for a long time, and we were like, well, what time are you going to head back? He said, I'll head back, I don't know, around 5:15, 5:20 to warm up. And 5:45, he was at the Atlas booth, I think, talking to us, having a beer. And he just jumped right up on stage like it was nothing. Yeah. So it was very cool. I thought that was very funny.
Yeah, and then right around then, we talked to Arthur as well, Arthur Rizek, and... again, 6:15, and he was like, I got to go mix the sound. I got to go.
I'll see you guys in a little bit. I got to go.
Yeah. And it was good. I swear it was like a heavy a Metalheads podcast reunion. We were, we had Arthur Rizek on the podcast. He was there. We got to see him and talk to him. We had Steve Jansen of Crypt Sermon on the episode, and he was there, and we got to hang out with him. We've had chemists on, and they were a little bit delayed, but they got there eventually, and we ran into Dan and spent some time talking to Dan. So it was just so cool to in this one location meet up with all these people we've had on the show.
Yeah, Dan came up to me last night. I didn't recognize him because he had glasses on, his hair was all slicked back, didn't look almost anything like when we interviewed him. But he was like. I mean, him and Zach, but Dan just came up. He was a super nice guy. It was great. It was great to talk to him.
Yeah, I didn't realize when you came up when we were watching Panopticon, which we'll get to at some point. He was standing right in front of us the whole time.
Yeah,
I didn't realize because he had a jacket on, and I walked by. I was like, "Wait, is he standing here?" Because I think Zach was standing in front of us too. Their drummer, and also a member of True Brewing.
Yeah, I didn't see Zach at all yesterday.
No, he was there. I saw him numerous times, but I always waved to him from afar or something because he's in chemist, so he's busy. Everybody is talking to him. Yeah. And besides, he's the head brewer at True, so everyone's talking to him
he's double dutying right now. I think Dan had the freedom to kind of wander around a lot more. So
yeah. So after Crypt Sermon was Krieg, and I'm not a huge Krieg fan. I'm aware of them and have a few albums, and so I had to go check that out, and I kind of went up to the front because I don't know, I'm guessing that Immolation probably had a pit. I didn't get a good look at that. Oh, yeah. but Krieg didn't really have a pit that I was aware of, so I was pretty much right up front, and I checked them out for a bit, and I really dug the music. The vocals were okay, particularly in a live situation. They sounded pretty good for live, but it wasn't really, I'm just not a huge fan, so.
I mean, I like Krieg, and this may be one of those sort of things. I hung out with Neil, the lead singer, who's also a contributor at Decibel. We went down to Champion Brewing Company to brew the Deci beer. So I got to know him. He's a super cool, nice guy. So I didn't catch all of the set because I was pouring beer, so it was standing really. So the Atlas booth is all the way in the back, right, if you're looking to the back.
From the stage.
Yeah, from the stage. So I listened and watched from afar, but yeah, I really like Krieg. It's not always my wheelhouse, but it's one of those things I have that personal connection with Neil because we hung out for an entire day brewing beer. So I like it. It was great. They put on a great show.
Yeah. No, I thought they had good stage presence, and Neil, he's up there just like, like making, like transformed in like pain, and that was cool.
My moment during their set was I was in the back and I was watching them, and I looked over and I was standing next to Adem. And I was like, well, this is kind of interesting. I said to Adem, I said, I've got you here and I've got Neil on stage. It's like I have the Decibel magazine in my hand because you guys are on the same 2 pages next to each other. So he thought that was actually kind of funny, I guess.
Have you prefaced that with who Adem is? I don't know if we've mentioned it yet.
We have not.
He is the author of the book.
The Bible.
The Bible. The only book on planet Earth. The book that I want him to like spare like 9 beers on today and step on. Because mine's not soiled yet. The Brewtal Truth, Guide to Extreme Beers. And also is the columnist to the Brewtal Truth portion of Decibel magazine.
Yeah, so John and I have made it our mission in life. This is years ago, to drink every beer featured in that book. And we got to like within 3 of 113-ish or something like that.
It's 3 because this is a wish list on my Untapped that we'll never have.
But so John and I sort of got to know Adem because we were always posting that we were drinking the beers, and he interviewed. We were in like a couple newspaper articles, like out in Seattle, because we were drinking all these beers, and then either me or my breweries, plural, I guess 3 of them have been featured in Decibel magazine in his column. So it was like it was great to finally meet him for the first time. Yeah.
All right.
It's cool.
And so I would guess towards the end of the Krieg set or thereabouts, John and I were like, we need to go figure out where this press room is. The Foundry is like a smaller venue within the venue, a smaller club upstairs. And we finally figured out where that was, and we flashed our press wristbands. Thank you, Will.
Yes.
And we got into this little room, and we're like, oh, okay, there's a little stage, very, very small stage with some nice, like, velvet drapery.
But it should be pointed out when we walked in, we couldn't get in at first. They wouldn't let us in until we showed it. The guy was like, you're not going anywhere. Oh, yes, come this way. And he opens the door. We didn't know where we were getting into. We walk in. There must have been about 100 people just standing around in front of this stage. And we're like, are we missing, like, a press party? What's going on here? So that's what we walked into. It was kind of not commotion, but a lot going on. And I'll let you continue from there.
Yeah, and like a lot of, pretty much none of them looked like press people. I mean, of course we didn't either. But I mean, there were a lot of like teenage kids in there and stuff like that. But also Dave Mustaine was in there, and I'm sorry I don't remember his name. Maybe Will knows it. The Unibrew guy.
Oh, the head brewer. Yeah, I don't know his name.
He was French, apparently, French Canadian.
And Don Jameson from that metal show, formerly of that metal show, was there too.
Yeah, that's right. He was sort of emceeing this little event, and so he got Dave and Unibrew guy up on this little stage, and they sat down on some chairs, and they just sort of talked about the beer a little bit. And we had no idea. We just fucking lucked into this. Yeah. We were just like, we walked in like 2 minutes before it started. We're like, hey, what's going on in here? And like, oh. And they get up on the stage and they start talking about how the beer came about. And the French guy he's very French and very silly and very drunk. And
I told him we've already got one.
You silly English kniggets. But Dave was just kind of sitting there like, okay, because he was just like talking over Dave and stuff. But it was like, wow, I know some people that aren't necessarily impressed with Dave Mustaine, but I was pretty impressed. And it
was cool, not to cut you off, it was cool to see him up there. I have my reservations about him for various reasons, but that's irrelevant to the fact that it was cool to see a guy who's a thrash master or, God or whatever, at least early on in his career, so. And it was the dude that, was in the film with Lars, making up.
My little Danish buddy, I believe was what he called him. Or my little Danish friend, something like that. But anyway, so we were just like, holy crap, look what we've stumbled into. And so we watched them talk about that. And Don Jameson went around and like gave the microphone to some people to ask questions. And most of them were fucking retarded. And I was like, man, I wish I leaned over to John. I was like, I wish I could think of a question so that when he gives us the mic, I could go, yeah, George from Metalheads podcast, and here's my question. But I couldn't think of one. And so
it was short, and it probably had to be because I'm sure those guys wanted to get going. And there were a lot of people just talking. At one point, Don James said, hey, guys, can the people in the back keep it down just a little bit? So Dave and again, sorry, I can't remember the guy's name from Unibrew, could hear the questions. And people just kept talking. It was just like, it might be better just to end this. And they did. It only went on, I think, for about 20 minutes, maybe at the most. And then they did a signing session.
Yeah, and who knew that was coming either? And then they're like, yeah, we're going to do a signing session now. And there's not that many people in there. So, like, everybody lined up. And John and I were like, all right, well, let's get out of here. And then I was kind of like dragging my feet going, I don't know. I mean, I don't have anything. I'd kind of like to get something signed.
Will you sign my breasts?
And I looked. I noticed they had a bunch of Et tout le monde coasters on the table, and so I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna get in line." And I went to the very end of the line, and then I saw coasters just lying around, so I picked up a couple of them so that I'd have a couple to have them sign. And the whole time I'm in line, I'm like, "This is gonna be cool. I'm gonna get up there, and when I get to Dave, I'm gonna go. Dio would be proud. I'm the last in line."
Oh my god.
But then this chick got in line behind me. She like left. She was in front of me in line, like a couple people up, and she got out and like went to behind me. I'm like, I guess she wanted to be last in line. I'm like, God damn it! Sorry, Dio.
So I was the guy that wasn't standing in the back of the line doing that. I just figured I don't need a signature. I'll hang out and talk to Adem.
Did you get a coaster with a signature?
Yeah, I noticed what they were doing, and you know, the Unibrew guy would sign it and pass it to Dave. And I'm like, I don't really want this guy's signature on there. I would just want Dave's. So I had.
Hey, I take offense to that as a brewer. Okay.
No. I mean, I didn't say I didn't want his autograph. I just didn't want it with. I wanted them separate. And so I had two of the coasters. And so when I got up there, I handed the one to Unibrew guy, and he signed it. And I was expecting him to give it back to me, but he passed it to Dave. But Dave wasn't ready yet, so he was still working on the other one. So I come up to Dave and hand him the other one. And Dave signs that and gives it back to me. And then my other one's still sitting there. And I go, that one's mine too. Could I get that? And I expected him to just hand it to me, but he signed that one too. So
you got one with just Dave and one with Dave and the Unibrew guy.
Yes. And then feeling cheeky as I was after having had however many beers, I was like, can I get a picture? And lackey number one hops out from behind the table, grabs my phone, and lets me take a picture with Dave. Still feeling cheeky. I'm like, okay, Dave has obviously already visually dismissed me.
I can't visually dismiss you. Okay?
No, he give me the look. Like, okay, we're done here. And I was like, Dave, could I shake your hand real quick? And he gave me the, not quite a stink eye, but just sort of a sizing me up kind of look. And then he stuck his hand out and shook my hand. I was like, and I said, thank you for everything, Dave. You know, music, for everything you've done. And then I moved on, and I was giddy like a little schoolgirl.
Wow, I didn't realize it was that much of a fanboy moment for you. I was busy just talking off to the side.
Yeah, he was over there talking to Adem and his brother-in-law.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, obviously Megadeth has put out some of the best albums ever made. You know, you talk about Rust in Peace or Peace Sells. I even like So Far, So Good, So What. Yeah, they haven't all been winners. A couple of them, like the last couple, were not that great, but
I like everything up through Cryptic Writings.
Yeah, Cryptic Writings, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Sorry. What was it? Endgame. I liked. There's a couple in there's like the aught periods, like 10 years ago that I really liked. But anyway, I mean, it's like no matter what you think of him, whether you dislike his politics or his personality or whatever, like he's a metal legend. So, like, yeah, I would have fanboyed out too if I was up there, but I was pouring beer. So
I wouldn't have fanboyed.
No, John does not fanboy. He does not.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone I would if I saw. I can't think of anyone I'd be like, ooh, or I'd just walk up and say, hey, dude, thanks for stopping by. Oh, I met Rush.
Hi, my name's John.
I actually did that when I met Rush. I met them, I don't know, when they played down in Nissan. And I was like the last person in the meet and greet to meet them. And I walked up.
You were the last in line.
Okay, I was the last person. And when I said to Getty, I said, hey, hi, thanks, appreciate it. And when I walked up to Alex, I said, hey, thanks for coming. I appreciate you stopping by. And he just kind of looked at me like I was kind of a jackass, and he just burst out laughing, kind of like he got the joke. I was thanking him when they should be thanking me, So I don't really care about that stuff. Yeah. It doesn't matter to me. What? I mean, the dude from Faith No More was walking around last night, the drummer.
Yeah, did you see that?
No.
We were speculating because he was the guy with the gray dreadlocks down to his ankles. And I'm like, man, he looks familiar. And Mike, your name's John. Well, I was thinking of the other guy, but anyway. And John's like, isn't that the guy from Faith No More? And I was like, yeah. And he played with Ozzy and
Mike Borden. I can't remember.
Mike, I think it's Mike Borden. Yeah.
I never remember, but I think it was him. I mean, it's funny because Richard Christie was standing there right next to us. I mean, there was a lot of big names in there.
Oh yeah, that's what was like crazy about this whole thing.
And nobody cared.
Yeah,
and like Dan Lilker was there pouring beer for how do you pronounce it?
McKellar. Yeah, so I got there at 1:15, and I'm trying to set up our jockey box and everything, which is mitigated disaster. Thank you, True, the folks from True Brewing Company, for saving my jockey box.
Where that lake came from in front of you.
Oh my God. Anyway, but Dan Lilker is just like walking around for hours when this place is nearly empty. He was almost like he was. I don't want to say he was just wandering around looking for a friend, but he was just wandering around checking things out like it's no big deal. I'm saying like, that's Dan from Nuclear Assault, from Brewtal Truth, from SOD, like from Anthrax, like. So I got a chance to talk to him very briefly. It was loud and crowded, but like I felt the need to go up and acknowledge, I know who you are. This is a huge deal. Like you were a god in high school.
Was he cool about that?
Oh, yeah, he was totally cool. I mean, that's what I'm saying. He was just walking around like it was nothing.
And he was pouring too upstairs.
Yeah. When they say like Dave Mustaine was pouring beer, like Dan Lilker all night long was pouring beer.
He never left. He was up there the whole night.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe it's because he's so tall. It wasn't just intimidating, and because he's Dan fucking Lilker. And so I walked by him a million times, and I gave him the little schoolboy look, but I couldn't even go up and get a beer from him. And so that's my goal for today. Assuming he is there again, I'm going to be like, I want to get a beer poured by Dan Lilker, and I want to shake his hand and say, and thank him for all the music, if I can pull that off.
I think that's what's successful so far in this festival is that everyone's just hanging out. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, this is like, aside from Dave Mustaine being there and being sort of like, like there's some aspect of pretentiousness to that, but like Richard Christie was there from the Howard Stern Show, Charles the Dam, Iced Earth, Don Jamieson, Death. Oh my God, don't forget Sound of Perseverance.
Don Jamieson was. I thought he would kind of stick around. Not what Dave Mustaine would do that. He hung out the whole night in the venue with everyone.
Oh yeah, I mean he was just wandering around, drinking beer, watching a show. Like it was like there was zero pretentiousness. Like all the Decibel magazine guys were just walking around. Like I can't say enough good things about this festival. I mean it's just they better do this every year. And whether Atlas is part of it or not next year, because there are so many other breweries that are so deserving to metal influenced breweries who are deserving to pour beer here. But if they do it again next year, I'm definitely coming, whether or not Atlas is pouring beer.
I think this should be our new MDF because, MDF kind of blows now. Yeah. And this definitely did not blow.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's hard to describe the setup and how much space you have to go and still feel like you're in a big crowd and still feel you can move around. Yeah. The only thing I would suggest, if you're going to order food, please order it within an hour of waiting because you're going to wait a long time.
Oh my God, I got to tell this story. So
this is later. Let's come to this later. Let's go chronologically here, okay?
All right. I don't know what time it was.
So while I was standing in line waiting for Dave's signature, I noticed up on the monitor that Panopticon was taking the stage, and I'm like, I really wanted to see Panopticon, which it is apparently their third show ever, not their third show ever.
Second or third.
Yeah, well, Dan from Chemist said he said it was their third. He said they played in the Washington, Oregon, whatever show that was, and then one in Sweden, and then here was the third. And so I'm like, okay, what's more important, seeing Panopticon or getting Dave's signature? And I'm like, eh. But the line moved really quick. So I was able to get through, do the Dave thing. I went over to John, who was talking to Adem, and I was like, dude, I got to go down and see Panopticon.
And I was just like, yeah, whatever, cool, I'll see you later. Which was funny because I wanted to see Panopticon, but I was talking to Adem and his brother-in-law, so.
And so I got down there and made a beeline for the front. Austin was set. I never remember stage left, right. He was on the right side of the stage if you were in the crowd.
Yeah, you're looking at it, yeah.
And so I got up close there, which was nice. Again, still no freaking pit or anything. It was just a bunch.
And it was full for them. They had a good crowd.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a big deal for Panopticon to play.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, he's also one of the brewers and owners of Hammerheart, who was making smoked beers and pouring smoked beers. Like, I could have just stood up there all night long and drank upstairs.
Oh, I haven't told you. I'll tell you later about my smoked beer and some guy wearing a suit jacket that was with Dave Mustaine. That we ended up having a long conversation about smoked beers.
Oh, really?
That was awesome. I'll tell you about it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to waste time on the podcast.
That reminds me, I want to back up again since we're talking about Hammerheart. So we went and we found their booth upstairs and we tried both of the beers. And one of the guys working for Hammerheart there, his name was Tanner. He didn't think I was going to remember that, but his name is Tanner. And the other guy, I don't think I caught his name, but thanks to him too. He's the one that I was like, their booth, they had, shirts hanging up, and they were like, these are the sizes, and it says, ask us about 3X. So I'm like, hi, I'd like to ask you about 3X. And I think Tanner turned to the other guy, and the other guy was like, yeah, we've got a couple. They're not like these ones, though, but he's like, hold on a second. He pulled out like 2 shirts that were like bundled up with tape. And he's like, these are the 2 we have. This one is, I don't know what it was. I think it was the stag head looking one, but it was like white instead of red. And then the other one, he said, this is for the All Hail the Dark Gourd. And it like has this like Halloweenish type like pumpkin dude on the front. And it says Hammerheart, and it's just like, awesome artwork. And on the back it says All Hail the Dark Gourd. And I was like, yes, give me that. So that was cool. But anyway, I wanted to shout out to Tanner because we had a nice little conversation. He asked about the podcast. I gave him a card. And also he was wearing an Ophthalmia shirt, and we had a nice little conversation about It, who just passed recently. So it was very cool to talk to somebody. Exactly. These guys are looking at me like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. So it was cool to come across somebody who knew that band. So yeah, we watched Panopticon. Sounded fucking amazing. I'm sitting there in front of the stage watching Austin, and you see guys play fast all the time, but usually it's like you can barely, their hand barely moves. They're just picking. He was like a fucking hummingbird wings because he was chording, not just like playing solos. And his fucking arm was just jackhammering these chords so fast. I was like, oh my god, it was like so precise and amazing, and I kind of man crushed on him a little bit.
Yeah, I have to say, I came down because Adem had to do an interview with Dave Mustaine, so I left. I said, I'm going to go check out Panopticon, and I came down and found a spot 2/3 of the way back, and then I've hooked up with you down there.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck, these guys are awesome. I mean, they've only played a couple shows. They sound great.
Yeah, and it's basically a one-man band. Austin's a one-man band, so he had to get a crew to play live, and they were great. I mean,
and I thought they got a good reception, and their set was ballsy. They did things that you would think they wouldn't do in a metal show. They had that long chant that went on for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then he said, well, we're going to play another heavy song, then we're going to do kind of a not so heavy song. It's off the new album. And they did this real mellow, just him and the drummer.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was kind of a bluegrassy, almost like even like Johnny Cash-ish almost.
And it was ballsy too on top of that, which I thought was cool.
In a weird sort of way, and we talked about this at Maryland Death Fest, like, you had all these great bands, and like it was nice to just kind of like, wow, this is kind of nice chill out music for a little while. Like at Death Fest, like we always say, like it'd be great just every now and again, just play like a doom band. Like let's just slow it down a little bit. So it was very welcome, and it was a great song.
And his clean vocals were really good live. Yeah. I was like, okay, I get what you're doing with Panopticon, but you should really do something that also allows you to utilize those great clean vocals you have too, because that was amazing.
Which makes me think I really want to check out the new album coming out, that he talked about at some point. So, yeah, I agree. Was very surprised. And that was a highlight. Cryptstorm was a highlight, but Panopticon definitely was my highlight. And then for me, I know you guys are going to talk about next bands. It was all beer after that.
All beer, all the time. Yeah, next up was Immolation, and I'm going to pass that one over to Will because neither John or I were particularly taken with it.
Yeah, we were
not that it was bad, it was just not our thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Immolation. You guys are fools.
You're fools!
You're fools! Fool you! I love Immolation. I've liked them for a gazillion years. They're old school death metal band out of New York. They put on a phenomenal show. I mean, what was great about last night is like every band sounded like almost perfect. I don't know if Arthur was doing the sound for everything, but okay.
It's funny you should say that because with the second time that we talked with Dan from Chemis, he came by and he was kind of concerned. I think this was during Municipal Waste. Yeah. He was a little concerned about the sound because it kind of sounded like shit. And we kind of agreed that by that time of the night, it didn't sound as good as it had when like Crypt Sermon was playing and Panopticon was playing. And so, yeah. So Dan told us if it doesn't sound good, come up front and give him the signal. And he's going to be like, my appendix just exploded, so they can leave the stage.
Immolation played a lot of new songs off their new album. I think the new album's called Atonement. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was one of my highlights every band was great last night, I thought. So like,
yeah, I thought they sounded good. It's just we were drinking beers.
Yeah.
You don't have to feel bad walking away from a band at this thing because you're going to run into like 18 people and you're going to drink some beers and you can still hear the band playing, but you don't have to be barraged with heavy sound. You can be upstairs like we were a number of times drinking beer up there and still hear them. But
and there's screens like all over the place.
Yeah, and when you mean screens, like it's a huge bar that blocks all the sound coming through, even though it's open on both ends to go out to the balcony. So yeah,
And I think it was around this time that we'll lead into Will's story. But John and I were like, no, we're fucking hungry. And so we went to the bar because they had a little bar food menu. Actually, I should back that up again. This is where when you had the beer bracelet, you got a little plastic cup with like the Decibel logo on there or whatever. And you could take this to all the different the breweries, and you could get a sample pour from all of them. You didn't have to pay anything; it was included in your ticket price. And I lost a cup, and I broke a cup, and then by that point, they were out of cups, and so they were handing out these little like NyQuil-sized fucking medicine cups. And John and I got those, and we're like, yeah, well, we're not going to drink out of these. So John, much more cojones than myself, went up to one of the bartenders and finally made him understand that he would like the full-size plastic cups.
Yeah, I kept saying, I don't want this, and I pointed and shook my head, and I pointed yes to the big cups, and the guy's like, well, what do you want? I'm like, I finally said, I want a big fucking cup. And he goes, okay. He hands me one. I go, well, I'm going to need two. And I go, what? 2 fucking cups.
So that leads to a whole nother story. But after we got that, we
were to order food.
We tried to order food from the guy, and he's like, "There's at least a 45-minute wait on food," and we're like, "We're not going to stand here for 45 minutes and wait eating for our food. That's ridiculous."
So let me add at this point, there was a slight nuclear tremor from George. Like, I'm not waiting for this. And it's like, well, if we have to leave early, we're leaving early. I want to eat. And so Mount Vesuvius was starting to percolate.
It wasn't that bad. I wasn't even hangry.
No, but we ended up getting full pour beers because I had the big cups. So we're like, fuck, we got to eat. So we're standing out, and there's 2 merch areas. There's the front entrance merch area. Then you come in through the doors, which are open, and there's like a back merch area. And then you go into the venue. And I went up to the security guards, and I asked about going to the bowling alley to eat. The guy says, dude, you're going to wait longer than you would here. And I said, oh, so I got this media pass badge. That won't let me go in and out. He's like, no, but you can go eat at the food truck that's right down the street from here. And I said, the director said, we got to drink our beers. We're going to go to the food truck. We literally walked down to the food truck, hung out with some douchebags drinking at the distillery right next door, and got this boatload of food. Like, I got a foot-wide quesadilla for $6.50.
Yeah, I got like a full-on Chipotle baby diaper for like $6.50 as well. It was massive, and it was good.
Shame on you saying Chipotle.
I didn't say Chipotle. I said Chipotle.
No, I'm saying shame on even mentioning them. I mean,
it's just a frame of reference. The Chipotle baby diaper. It's like this massive pile of turd. But anyway, so we go back in, and we're like, where are we going to eat? And I got to say, it's cool. I had like all my keys and my recorder and all this stuff. And the security guy was like, yeah, you can go out and go to the truck, but we'll have to wand you when you come back in. And I'm like, all right, well, that means I'm going to take all my shit up. We get our food, we come back, he wands me. He goes, he just let me in anyway. He didn't even check any of my pockets.
I had a knife on me all night. Like,
yeah, I think it was just a formality of, he's like, I have to be seen wanding you.
and I had talked to these guys, him and the guy that was working with, like 3 times. They couldn't have been any nicer, so we got our food and came back in the venue.
And then we're like, well, where do we eat? And by this point, the place was pretty full. I'm sorry. I'm getting to it. And so we're like, hey, let's try and go back up to the press area because it was at least quieter there, and they had like tables and chairs and stuff. So we get up there again with the, no, you can't go in there. Oh, yes, you can. And we get in there, and there's nobody in there. The lights are out over the bar. It's mostly dark in there. And we're like, oh, all right, it's our own private lounge here. We go and we sit down, we're eating and whatever. And I noticed that the table was still set up where they had been signing, and there was a Unibrew beer sitting there, half drank, where Dave had been sitting. And I'm like, that's Dave's beer. But anyway.
Wait. He says, that's Dave's beer. And I say, I can't believe he left fucking half a beer sitting there.
Wasteful rock stars. So then I kick you over to Will.
Yeah, so I was looking for you guys. I don't know if you texted me or something. I was like, I don't know where they are. I'm like wandering all over the place looking for you guys. I'm like, well, maybe they're up in the press room. So I go up there, and it's the same thing. Like, oh, you can't go in there, and you show your media wristband. It's like, oh, you can go in there. But he's like, there's nobody in there except for like 2 dudes eating. I'm like, oh, I know who's in there. and then literally, I walk in after the guy tried to convince me like there's no point in going in there. And there I walk in on the left. Is you 2 guys just sprawled out on these couches eating. I'm like, yep, that's them. 2 dudes in there eating. I know who they are.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was pretty good too. I was hungry.
yeah. We're hoping. We asked the guy if the truck was going to be there tonight. He said he wasn't sure, but hopefully they are.
I did order food from the bar, and I got like this breakfast sandwich, was like like an egg McMuffin kind of thing, and these like tater tot nacho things, was tater tots with covered in what would normally be nachos. It was really good. It was expensive, but it was good.
Yeah, it seemed like it worked for you guys because you could place an order and you're already pouring, so your time would go by pretty fast. Yeah. We were just standing like, what are we gonna do? Just stare at the bar? Because you have to wait for the food then. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So then Municipal Waste was on, and I've seen them a couple of times already. So I mean, I like Municipal Waste. But I'm not like, woohoo, Municipal Waste, the thrill is gone sort of thing. It's like, yeah, I'll listen, I'll watch them, okay. But we just kind of, I think at this point we wandered around with Warren from Black Flag.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Warren was there, like completely like, hey, there's Warren. So Warren is the head brewer at Black Flag in Columbia, Maryland. And he always comes to all the different heavy metal nights we have at Atlas. He's a great dude. Always makes great beer. So it was awesome to see him just wandering around in his battle vest. I'm like, hey, there's Warren.
Yeah, it was like the 3rd time we've met him. I think the first time I saw him was at the Overkill show, and then again at the Atlas last week. And then so this 3rd time was the charm. I was like, that's good.
Yeah, Municipal Waste was great, and they're like the perfect band because they love drinking beer and talking about drinking beer. They even played their song "Beer Pressure" last night, and then the drummer Dave Whitty who was the ambassador for heavy metal and beer. Like he's one of the guys who started getting Three Floyds, I think, to link up bands with Three Floyds to make metal beers. Like he's the one who introduced the guys from Pig Destroyer to make Permanent Funeral at Three Floyds, which won a silver medal GABF in like 2013-ish or something. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, they sounded good, and that was the first like crazy ass pit that I saw the night.
No, Immolation had a big pit. You just weren't paying attention.
Right. That's why I said that I saw. I assumed there would be one for Immolation, but it looked like the municipal waste guys really were bringing it. They were fucking shit up, apparently, as the song lyrics apparently go. And so then the headliner of the evening was Agoraphobic Nosebleed. And I know there are a lot of rabid agoraphobic Nosebleed fans. John and I were not one of those people. I wanted to stay and check out a couple songs because, first of all, they are a well-known and respected band. And Scott Hall of Pig Destroyer plays guitar. And I will say that Scott was playing his fucking balls off up there. I was like, wow. Yeah. But there was no drummer. I don't know if it was a recorded live drummer.
That's the joke. It's a drum machine.
It's a drum machine.
So Dave Whitty from Municipal Waste got his picture taken with the Agoraphobic Nosebleed drummer, which is a drum machine. So it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing. But yeah, no, it's a drum machine.
And basically, we didn't stick around for the rest of their set because it wasn't for us. But I know you're friends with one of the guys, so maybe you can talk to it a little.
Yeah, I saw. So I'm friends. I'm a good acquaintance with Richard Johnson, the co-lead singer of Agoraphobic Nosebleed. So I met him literally at a backyard barbecue at my house because he's his girlfriend is best friends with my neighbor. So and then when I met him the first time, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm in Drugs of Faith." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know Drugs of Faith. I know your band and stuff like that." And then I didn't realize it was later that I knew that he was in Agoraphobic Nosebleed, but. Yeah, I mean, it's a grindcore band with a drum machine and co-lead singer. There's a very petite female co-lead singer
with blue hair.
Yeah, I thought it was green or something. Yeah, blue hair. But yeah, I mean, they killed it. I mean, they closed out the night and they did a great job. I mean, there was not one disappointment for any of the bands that played. The sound, the set. I will say, though, I wish Crip Sermon, Steve, if you're listening, you didn't play Heavy Riders. I really wanted to hear Heavy Riders last night, and I even mentioned it as much to him last night when I saw him. You didn't play Heavy Riders.
Yeah. And so the last thing I have to say about the evening was, as we were walking out, the merch area was actually pretty empty at this point, and I was like, oh, right, I wanted to see about getting the festival Pig Destroyer shirt. I was like, I'm sure at this point in the evening they're not going to fucking have any, certainly not in my size. And we stopped by a booth because they had one hanging up there, and it was like, hey, do you have any of the Pig Destroyer shirts left? And he's like, yeah. I was like, but I'm sure you don't have any in 3X. And he's like, you mean like this? And I was like, gimme. And so I got the fucking festival Pig Destroyer shirt.
I have a feeling I'm going to go home. My wife will kill me, but I'm going to come home with 15 new T-shirts.
Yeah, well, Dan said that Chemist had 3Xs, so I'm going to get one of those today, hopefully. Yeah. And so that'll be at least 3 for me.
I only have one shirt. I have the festival shirt. That's it.
Yeah, you got to get that one. The one, the logo for the Metal and Beer Fest.
Oh yeah, that was the one they only had 2X though, right? Yeah, so not in my cards. Not until I've become more svelte, which is not fucking happening. So it's no point in buying the damn shirt. All right, so then today is the day where I'm looking forward to slightly more bands than I was yesterday. Today opens with Cemetery Piss, a Baltimore band that I've only recently come to know about and enjoy. I was a little bit put off by their name because I thought it was a little silly, but when I listened to it...
Really?
Silly. Cemetery Piss. What is that like? I'm in the cemetery and I have to take a whiz. I don't know. I mean, it's not offensive. It's just kind of like, what?
A lot of band names. Anyways.
Yeah.
My point is only that there's so many stupid band names. I'm not saying that one's stupid, but yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's just like, generally bands that involve bodily functions or things like that are not bands that I enjoy. But because they were going to be here, I checked them out, and I was like, wow, this is actually really pretty cool. And so I bought the album, and I believe Will bought it as well.
Yeah, I did. Absolutely.
And they're opening the show today, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Then after that is Falls of Rauros, which, by the way, the drummer from Falls of Rauros presumably was playing with Panopticon yesterday. That's my understanding. He's the live drummer for Panopticon. Okay. In Falls of Roros, I believe they're Oregon or Washington kind of band, black metal. I believe our friend Joel is acquainted with at least one of the guys in the band.
Joe Violetta.
Violetta, the man himself. And they just put out a new album, and it's kind of cool. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing them. Then this next band, I guess they're from Denver. They're called like Chemists or something like that. Yeah, pretty much the whole reason I'm here this weekend was because I wanted to see Chemists. So definitely looking forward to that. What about you guys? Anything to say on that?
Definitely looking forward to Chemists. That's my day 2 band that I want to see. And especially after spending some time with the guys, it makes it even more enjoyable to see them live.
Yeah, they're just the nicest dudes to hang out with and stuff. So
yeah. Oh, I got to tell my patch story. So somewhere between when they were on and now, I ordered a Chemist patch from their Bandcamp site. Because as the boys are fun of mocking me, I am wearing my new battle vest on its maiden voyage this weekend.
And it is the size of a ship sail, by the way.
It is a 3X, so it is freaking huge.
There's a lot of patches on there.
Yeah, it weighs 3.5 pounds. And so anyway, I ordered a Chemist patch from their Bandcamp site. And a few days later, I got an email from PayPal saying your money has been refunded on this from Chemist. And I was like, oh, damn it. They must have been sold out or something. And I opened the email, and it says your money's been refunded. And then there was a note from Dan that said, we would be honored to have our patch on your battle vest. And he's like, I'll be shipping it out soon. And so I was like, how cool is that? I mean, it was only like $6 or $7 or something like that. And it's not like, but just the thought of him doing that because he knew us was a really nice gesture, I thought. And yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to tell that story because Dan is a really nice guy. So then up after Chemists is Withered. And this is probably the one band today that I don't really care about. So, but I bet Will likes them. Do you like Withered?
Yeah, I do. It's like a black and death metal band. I think I just bought their new album that just came out. So I was checking that out the last couple of days. Yeah, I like them.
Cool. John, do you have any opinion on these guys?
I'm gonna probably drink beer and listen to them that way.
Yeah, maybe they sound better that way.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know anything about them. It's nothing personal. I'll just hang out and have some beers I haven't had yet because apparently we haven't had as many as we thought we did.
Yeah, there's something like 32 different beers here, and we only checked in like 13 last night. So we got some more to do tonight, boys.
And I have to say that I'm going to be doubling up on a bunch of beers too because there's so many good beers here. It's ridiculous not to because I don't know if I'll ever get them again. Like for instance, I don't know if you had it, Will, Nazareth from True. Their double IPA.
Yeah, it was really good.
And apparently they only release that once a year. So I'm like, well, I got to have that again. So there's a few beers like that. Was it Wig Splitter from Three Floyds? I actually liked a lot. So there's breweries I haven't had yet that I have to definitely check out.
I heard at least 2 other people comment on the Wig Splitter and how good that was.
Well, yeah, and Permanent Funeral obviously is awesome, like we mentioned already. But there's just so many to choose from. I mean, I might hit up Hammerheart again just because their stuff was so good. So, and maybe I'll talk to the dude about smoked beer again that I didn't know that was apparently affiliated with Dave Mustaine. So,
he looked like I don't always XYZ, but when I do, he looked like that guy, the most amazing, interesting man in the world guy. Yeah,
it's funny because people keep asking me who we're with, and anytime I need to get anywhere, I say, well, Atlas, we're with one of the brewers from Atlas. Well, it's not a lie. I mean, oh, okay, well, yeah, go in, good. Every time I'm like, well, this is great. Well, this guy, my smoked beer buddy, we were talking back and forth. I mentioned you like smoked beers and that you love brewing, stuff like that. You're into that. Well, who are you with? And I said, I'm with just about everybody. Like that. Somebody looked at me and said, right. Cool. I get it. And I didn't realize this guy's probably like some record executive.
I know,
or
you're
something.
like, Metalheads podcast, god damn it.
Yeah. And here I am talking to this guy in a suit jacket, and here I'm just in my enslaved
Is
t-shirt.
it the older, really thin guy?
With the beard.
Yeah. He's with he did a TV interview. He's with I got their card. I talked to him and.
Okay, so he's not.
Yeah, he's with like a TV channel, like I think it's an internet TV channel. But it's all about beer.
Oh, okay, because there were tons of people hanging around him, both, old dudes, young dudes, men, women. Everyone wanted to talk to this guy. I didn't know who he was.
He was the most interesting man in the show.
Apparently, we had a good talk about smoked beers. So,
All right, so after Withered is Pig Destroyer tonight, and though they are a local band, and we've all probably seen Blake a million times around town, I have not seen Pig Destroyer yet, so I'm looking forward to that.
same for me. I've never seen him, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, they don't play live that often. I mean, they all have day jobs and stuff. So I can't wait.
Yeah, should be good. And anyway. So then the headliner for tonight is Sleep.
And I want to be trash for their set.
We got to find...
take your shirt off too.
We already have one person on stage without a shirt on. We don't need anybody in the audience.
Yeah, so, Sleep gets mentioned on the podcast a lot because of their long-ass album, Dope Smoker. So it'll be cool. I've seen High on Fire, but I have not seen Sleep, so somebody... Was it Dan?
Dan was emphatic that we need to just be right in the middle of the venue and just absorb like these punishing bass lines.
Yeah, he said you're like clothing's gonna rumble. So
I can't. I've never seen High on Fire, but I have seen Sleep once when they played the 930 Club. I guess it was last year sometime. But they put on a phenomenal show. I mean, it is just be prepared.
Yeah. That's funny because I've probably seen High on Fire the most of anyone, and I probably liked them least amount of anyone in the group. Yeah. I've probably seen them, I don't know, 10 or 12 times. I mean, they did that long tour with Opeth, so I saw them so many times. I mean, I liked them live. They were cool, so I'm looking forward to seeing if, my shoes are going to melt when I'm standing there.
Yeah, should be an interesting evening. So we have to pace ourselves, get lots of water, and enjoy. And we will... I'm guessing that we're probably not going to have Will to do a post-mortem because you have to leave early.
Yeah, I got to leave super early to get back to DC. So unless we do some interesting recordings tonight after the show, or we just get on Skype or something.
Something, yeah. We'll get your take one way or another. So at the very least, John and I will record something either tonight or on the ride back tomorrow and tell you about how tonight goes. So until then, see ya. Hello, and this is George.
This is Brew Metal Will.
And this is John.
And it is now the early morning of Monday, April 24th, I believe it is. The first annual Decibel Metal and Beer Fest is in the books. It is done. We are about done. But this is our story.
The greatest part about what you just said, aside from the fact that you sound like you're half asleep, is that it was the first annual.
Yes.
Because we do have inside information that this could be like an annual thing. So the Decibel Magazine Metal and Beer Fest. Holy shit, is that Kiefer Sutherland?
Yeah, sure is.
Sorry.
Say, hey, Kiefer, how you doing, man?
Sorry, we're in the hotel room. We just got back from the Metal Fest. Stand By Me movie is on. I think it's River Phoenix, and it's Kiefer Sutherland, which, sorry.
It's like 30 years ago.
I haven't seen this movie in like a gazillion years. Anyway, no one cares about that. So the point being is that I think this will happen next year.
Yes, I sure hope so.
We talked to multiple sources from Decibel who all want this to happen again. And if it's in Philly every goddamn year, I am extremely happy, man.
Or even Baltimore.
No, Philly.
Yeah, that's because, that's what, I was referencing.
No, Philly. Yeah.
Because Philly's a lot closer than Baltimore for us, right?
No, because Philly's way cooler than Baltimore.
I will give you that.
Yes.
All right.
There's an entire record store just of heavy metal. Does Baltimore have that?
Yes.
All right, I don't give a shit. So Phillies is still cooler.
Yeah. So before we got to the show today, the three of us went out. The guys took me to Monk's Cafe, which is apparently world famous, though I've never heard of it, but now I have, and it was good food and good beers. So thank you for that. And then we went to the reason I mentioned this was because then after that we went to this really great record store called Vinyl Altar. It's a heavy metal vinyl shop here in Philly.
Altar being like worship at the altar, not like
altering and changing.
Yeah.
You're not going to alter your vinyl. You're going to worship at the vinyl altar. And John and I picked up some vinyl while Will walked around and made fun of people who had vinyl. And
yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Like, why do you buy this stuff? Anyway, so then from there we went to the venue. And like yesterday, we got ourselves some cups and John and I started drinking, but that didn't last all that long.
Wait, so today they literally, Decibel did so many things right. The one thing that I shouldn't say they got wrong or they didn't get right, but yesterday they had the plastic logo cups, but they were like so super cheap plastic that they would break. Everyone threw them out, and they were like the 1 or 2 ounce whatever little glasses. Today they just gave everyone these little flimsy Dixie cups. Like literally the first one I poured for somebody, it leaked out the bottom. I'm like, come on, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, if you're gonna include the drinks and everything within the ticket price, spring for. If not a pint glass, then they make smaller beer glasses.
Yeah,
my wife has one.
Yeah, like a 2 or 3 ounce, like logo glass, like a piece of glass. It's everyone. This is what you get, and then if you lose it, sorry, tough shit. But everyone will hold on to it. The little plastic ones, like they were breaking constantly, and everyone just threw them out.
Or at least a harder plastic, like the freaking tumblers that we have you buy them like 3 for a freaking $1 at the store, and they're a thicker plastic, Anyway, something that would be a little more sturdier. Will's looking at me like I'm a fucking maniac. I don't know. I'm just saying something glass. They probably don't want to give people glass. Everybody's going to be running around fucking smashing fucking pint glasses on everybody's head. But
sorry, I was just like, how long can I stare at George weirdly, and will he get freaked out by at some point?
3.2 seconds.
It's late at night.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know that anything happened before the first band, really. We got a couple of beers. And so the first band, if I may get to that, Cemetery Piss from Baltimore. I liked their album, as I believe I mentioned earlier, and I liked them live, too. They sounded good. The vocals are maybe a little screechy, but he enunciates well and stands out from the music. And I don't know what it is, but like both days, I think the best sound was the first band of the day. It was the clearest and crispest sound. And but I don't know. I thought they were really good.
I don't know if it's because there was hardly anybody in there. The din of the voices was lower. It was like all you heard was purely the sound of the band. That's what I can think of. But yeah, Cemetery Piss sounded great. I was pouring. That was like the one point tonight. I was pouring beer for Atlas. I was doing Cemetery Piss, and then pretty much the entire time I was we were interviewing people. I was on the floor like watching bands. So kudos to Dan and Corey for covering the booth all night as I completely enjoyed myself.
Yes, and somewhere around the end of Cemetery Piss, we went and did an interview with Scott and Blake from Pig Destroyer, and that was a good time, and you'll hear that after this. And then we went back down just in time for the beginning of Falls of Rhoros.
Yes.
And I know this because as I was walking up the right side to get close to the stage, Austin from Panopticon, who was, I believe he had a Falls of Rhoros back patch on his vest. comes barreling down and just sort of like shoulders me aside as he's like, "Must get to stage."
That's not an easy thing to do, to shoulder you aside, by the way.
He's not a diminutive person himself, so. And I didn't like take it as an affront or anything. I think it was incidental contact, but
Collateral damage.
I'm like, all right, you go ahead, man.
So what you're saying, it was a good no call there. No foul, no call.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of like these guys. As I was telling John, the vocals are a little screechy for me. You know, I like black metal vocals in various styles, but like sometimes people hit this pitch that it just kind of grates on me, and I thought the music sounded wonderful. And to be honest, the vocals weren't as screechy live as they were recorded, which is frequently the case. So I dug that. Did either of you guys have any comment on them? Will's like, nah, I didn't pay any attention to that.
Yeah, I was pouring beer and I wasn't really paying much attention.
I only saw him for a few songs, and it was all right. You know, that's all I got to say about it.
That's all you got to say about it.
Liked it.
But I really, really liked it. I can't believe that by that point it was already Chemist.
Holy titty fucking shit. Chemist was unreal. Like, literally, it was like I am the biggest atheist in the world, but that was like a religious experience. Like,
So is it safe to say that next year the beer will be Hail Satan, worship Chemist?
it could, yes, absolutely could. Probably the closest I came to that religious experience is at some point when I was studying abroad in Australia. I'll leave it at that, but like, holy crap.
Was that like the time that you and the Aboriginal man made sweet love under the stars?
Maybe.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, you just like you went there and then you just dropped. You're like, I'm not going to say anything about that.
Like, don't worry about. Oh, like, but literally, that Chemist was unbelievable. That will go down in my history of shows of just, it was unbelievable. And I was right in the front, and it, yeah.
Yeah, I started off right up on the railing, which was the only time I was there this weekend, because this is the only time that I was like, must be on railing.
Wait, were you on the left or the right, the center?
I was a little bit to the right of Dan.
Oh, so, okay, yeah. So I was like more center.
Yeah, we were on the right side.
Yeah, and I spent like the first two songs there, I think, because I wanted to be up close, wanted to see the guys, and as expected, the sound was not terribly good right up on the stage.
No, it wasn't, and I was expecting you to like do the hand and arm signals to Dan, but I'm glad you didn't, because they would have stopped playing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was actually like avoiding eye contact with Dan, just because I didn't. I mean, honestly, he told me that as a joke. I wasn't expecting that he was really going to look to me to be like, "What's the sound like?" So I was erring on the side of. I don't want him to think that I'm actually trying to signal him.
Let me say, I keep hearing on the podcast that bass players don't count, or they're unnoticeable. He can fucking play.
Oh, look.
He was really cranking out.
He was ripping.
Yes.
He was.
Yes, like up there as far as stage presence and importance with Steve Harris, easily hands down, and maybe Tom Araya too.
All of those guys, they just had, obviously Zach's not moving around much other than, flailing his arms with the sticks. No offense to Zach. But the rest of the guys, they had the moves down. They brought an energy to the songs that was undeniable.
Yeah, without being campy and doing all the traditional, head bobs and guitar flips and all that shit.
Yeah, no.
So.
They had groove.
Yes. Great way to put it, groove. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was great. No, so then after the first two songs, we moved back to the middle, and it was a little better there.
Yeah, it should be stated that those two songs were like about 17 minutes or something. So we were up there for a while.
Yeah.
Because I think they only played about 35 minutes. I think.
Yeah.
So, and then like the last song they played, "Hunted," I actually think that was the best. I don't know if somebody tweaked something right before that song, there wasn't a lot of high end in their frequency range. It was just, I mean, obviously they're a heavy band and there's a lot of low end, but like the guitars and the vocals were really kind of like not punching through. But the last song, somebody must have tweaked something.
Somebody realized the treble was on 1. Oh shit!
Yeah, and so it was a bit clearer and even better. But sonic deficiencies notwithstanding, it was a great set.
Yeah, for me, of the entire 2 days, and maybe it's because we sort of have a personal connection. Like I was talking to Phil before the show and after the show, the lead singer of Chemist, and like we all know Zach, we know Dan, and the only guy I never really think I ever talked to was Ben, the lead guitar player. But like just unbelievable. Like it's hard to describe just how awesome that set was, and just how. So I was like very front, just to the left of center stage. Like, but right up there in the front, and just the energy of everyone around me who was just, and I was hanging out with Albert from Decibel, who was like right there, like, and he was going crazy because that's his number one band of this year,
last year,
2016, yeah. So it was kind of cool to be in that vibe around Albert, who was watching maybe for the first time his number one band of last year. So there was a cool factor all the way around, regardless of that part. Like it's hard for me to explain it because it almost took me by surprise how like great that set was. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I believe, and maybe you don't want to talk about this, but maybe you do. I believe you spoke to someone at a particular brewery that is local to us about the possibility of a band that they should maybe try and acquire for next year's festival that they do. He's looking at me like he didn't know.
Like Oliver Ailes?
DC Brow.
Oh yeah, DC. Yeah. Oh yeah, Brandon from DC Brow was there tonight.
Yeah, I may have suggested that. It's something to think about.
You?
Yes, it was me.
Oh,
that's cool though.
That's why you didn't know what I'm talking about. It wasn't you. No. Sorry about that.
How does this relate to Chemists?
I had just said when I was talking with Brandon, I said, "Hey, it might be kind of cool. Just a suggestion. We all liked them. Maybe Chemist plays at DC Brow's 7th anniversary party."
Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You were there.
I'm totally lost on what the fuck you guys are talking about.
Yeah, sorry. I thought it was you.
Next year's Metal and Beer Fest, then DC Brow being invited, or yeah.
And I just said, hey, just something to think about. Throw it in a hopper, mix it around, and see what you think.
So I will speak to both things. So yes, next year on DC Brow's 7th anniversary, yes, have Chemists. And next year, if there is a Decibel Magazine Heavy Metal and Beer Fest, yes, DC Brow should be invited, as should be Oliver Ailes, or our good friend Steve Jones.
Yeah, get him up
there.
And
Steve and Derek.
And that should be emceed by the Metalheads podcast.
Well, yeah, clearly. I mean, because,
cool.
Yeah.
Just walk out there. Hey, everyone. I'm John with the Metalheads podcast.
Everybody's like, who the fuck are you? Bring out Dan Lilker.
And I'm here to rock you tonight.
Which, by the way, I like how this long conversation with Dan Lilker today about he's going to try and ship me the nuclear hop assault beer, and his wife gave me his card and took a picture. It was her idea. You guys need to get a picture together.
I wanted to do that. I finally, John poked me and prodded me until I got the nerve to go over there.
John did what?
He poked me. He didn't literally poke me. He just was like, come on, go do it.
It was kind of weird because I said, just go over there and get a picture. And we go over and he's with Adem getting a picture. I was like, oh, maybe he's only doing it with cool famous people.
Yeah. But I did go up and get a beer. I was served beer by Dan Lilker. I can at least say that. And I said, Dan, can I shake your hand? And he's like, oh, and he shook my hand, and I said, thank you for all the music.
Wait, you told that story yesterday.
No, I didn't. No, that was what I said to Dave Mustaine as well. This is what I say to heavy metal legends. I don't fucking take up their time telling them fucking 10-minute stories about my dog named whatever, and I just say thank you for the music. That's what I do.
And he said, "Get the fuck out of here and go away."
Yeah, pretty
No,
much.
He didn't say that. Just kidding. He was cool.
Yeah, okay. So Will's showing off with me. She's got a picture of Dan Lilker, and they're throwing the horns and looking like they're like, "What's up?" And I don't have that picture, but I do have a picture with Dave Mustaine, which nobody gives a shit about. And
I got my picture with Dan Lilker. That's way cooler than David's
it is way cooler. Yeah. So Withered. I'm going to let Will talk about them because he's probably going to be the most enthusiastic one about that.
I love Withered. I did not see the whole set because I saw the whole set. I heard the whole set, but I was pouring beer during that time. So, again, it was like I was way in the back, but they put on a great set. I mean, I don't really...
I'm not a big fan of their recorded output, but a big part of that is the vocals. And I thought that the vocals at least sounded clear live. It's just a common theme, except for with Chemist. Yeah, I mean, it's death metal, and there you go. So we had hoped to do some interviews during Withered, but that didn't work out that way. There was just everybody's running around doing stuff. It was so busy, so we did not get to do that.
And also, I've been to so many festivals. And I think what happens on the last day is you start getting towards the middle of the last day, towards that last third or whatever. Everyone's trying to see everyone before they leave. They're trying to see the last bands. It's really hard to get a hold of someone at the end,
Yeah. So, we hung out. I think we got food then, actually. That was what we did. And then, we were waiting for the next band, which was Pig Destroyer. And... as you'll hear shortly, there is an interview with Scott and Blake. I've probably already mentioned that, but there is that. So we got to see them. That was the first time I got to see those guys play. I don't know. Have you seen them before, Will?
Yeah, I saw them 2 different times. But this was the biggest stage that I saw them on because I saw them at the Black Cat when they released Permanent Funeral, the beer, for the first time. So I saw them there, and then I saw them one other time. I forget where. But yeah, this is my 3rd time seeing Pig Destroyer. But we had a great interview with Blake and Scott from Pig Destroyer, which you'll hear at some point in this mashup of whatever the fuck, how this gets edited and smashed together. But it's what I loved about the interview with Scott and Blake is we equally... From a brewer's standpoint, we equally talked about music and beer. Yeah. And Scott is very enthusiastic about the beer, as is Blake. So it was just great to have this cool conversation about we're literally getting the nitty gritty of hops and the price of hops. That's how in depth this conversation got. So if whoever you splice this up, George, if it's before or after, either you already heard this or this is what you had to look forward to.
Exactly. And, it was nice to... I've seen Blake around at shows so many times as an audience member running around talking to everybody. As we say in the interview, he's sort of like the local ambassador of metal.
Yeah. And
so it was good to see him finally up on stage doing his thing. And it was kind of interesting how, energetic and bouncy, I guess is the word I would use to describe him on stage. He
had a lot of energy, and no, it's cool because he would just walk up to the front of the stage and he just would give the circle, get it going. What's going on? And
yeah, and sorry, he jumped down to in that that one the area that's between the stage and the barricade. He jumped down there. He's trying to get people all riled up. He's the ambassador between beer and metal. He's also the ambassador of just guys, let's get going. Jumping. If it was a tighter crowd, it was a huge crowd, but if it was a tighter crowd, I have no doubt that he probably would have got up and body surfed or something, crowd surfed. Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot more. Speaking of that, there were a lot more people here today, according to the people in charge. But I thought it was still pretty spaced out nice, even though the pit was bigger today, I thought. for them.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't feel like you were, if you're an old fart like me, you didn't feel like you're in jeopardy just getting plowed into by like Chicken Man and like 9 other dudes at the same time.
Yeah, Chicken Man was here tonight, like all the way from DC. Yeah. Chicken Man.
Yeah. And what's funny is that all these bands knew about Chicken Man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Pig Destroyer called him out. Yeah, like, well, because, you know.
So.
Yeah.
Well, even Adem knew about Chicken Man, so.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, this is George.
This is Will.
This is John.
And we are joined by Scott and Blake from Pig Destroyer. How you guys doing today?
Great, thank you. How you doing?
Doing well. How you doing, Blake?
I'm hanging in there. Feel pretty good, shockingly enough, after last night.
I think that's what we're all saying.
We are all saying that right now, definitely. I can't think of a show that I've been to lately where Blake hasn't been there, or even not a show, even at the Atlas Brew Works the other day. You're sort of our the DC Baltimore metal scene. You're
the ambassador.
The ambassador. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. And so Scott, you played last night already with a Agoraphobic Nosebleed. How was that?
It was good. There were some technical issues with a couple things, but it was good. There's some challenges with playing with a drum machine and no visual drummer, which you kind of use to help you out in times like that where a sound is not optimal to figure out where we are. Yeah, but when you don't have that, you're kind of relying on listening for certain things, and it's more difficult than seeing something. But it was good. It was a good show.
Yeah, you were playing your balls off. That's what I told John. I was like, man, look at him going. It's like, and I was thinking about that with the drum machine. It was like, there's no leeway. You got to keep up with the drum machine, else it all falls apart.
Play, and then 45 minutes later, you're done. So it's like one long song, basically. So it was challenging at times because I really lost myself a few times. And I had to look at John or go back to where there was a lot of drums so that I could sort of hear what was going on. Yeah. But it turned out pretty good. I mean, that's only our 7th show, so we're still trying to figure out what the hell we're doing on stage.
Wait, I thought you guys did like a whole European tour.
We've only played in Europe once. I think the Netherlands Death Fest was what we played.
Hellfest, too.
And Hellfest, 2 shows in Europe. And we got some more planned for this year.
Though, right?
Yeah, that was last year. So I think between that and the Maryland Death Fest show and the California Death Fest and Housecore, I think we've only played like 7 times.
Yeah, the DC show.
Yeah, DC show. So yeah, like 7. This might be our 8th or 7th show. I mean, granted, it's me and John holding down the low end, so we kind of know what we're doing, but it's still a new band, essentially.
Yeah.
So it was good.
So Pig Destroyer playing tonight. Doesn't seem like. How come you guys don't play so much? Is that jobs and life, or what's going on? I know a few of us have been itching, new material and some shows and whatnot. What's going on?
It's different. Like, you're right. It's exactly jobs and life. But for us, it seems like a broken record saying that all the time. But I guess people just don't understand. Scott's got a wife and 2 kids, and we all have day jobs except for John. And we've never really been set up as a touring band. Yeah. I think the most we've ever done is 2 weeks straight, and that was in Australia. And when you go that far, you don't want to just pop back home. But yeah, we're going to play a new song tonight, and a song that we've only ever played one other time, which was one of our videos. So there's some new stuff, and we're working on a new record. Yeah. Albeit in Pig Destroyer time, not regular real band time.
So that means it could be any time between now and
it's coming out tomorrow.
Eternity.
Yeah, all right. Probably next year.
Next year?
Yeah.
All right. We'll be looking forward to that. Yeah.
A festival like this must work for you guys, the setup, the way it is. It's a good-sized crowd, good-sized venue, and shitloads of beer, obviously. Yeah. But, I mean, this must work if you guys aren't touring that much.
Absolutely. I mean, we play a lot of festivals, and, I'm not speaking for everybody else, but just mostly for me, I prefer a club show where it's kind of sweaty and we're kind of more in our environment. But festivals, you're right, festivals do work. And this is a little different because it's all friends, and we're friends with the Decibel guys, and obviously 3 Floyds guys and you guys and all this stuff. So this has a homier feel than say Hellfest, which has, however many 100,000 people and you're 20 fucking miles away from the crowd. So yeah, this has a homier, more of a intimate feel to it.
You guys friends with any of the bands, or is it like a reunion of any kind with anybody?
Yeah, absolutely. I've known the Withered dudes for 20 years, so off and on through various different bands, but.
Yeah, the guys in Municipal Waste, we've known them forever.
Sure, yeah.
Especially from Dave Whitty from even before Municipal Waste. So, yeah, there's a lot of folks that we just sort of hey, long time no see. Right. Dan Lilliker's back there slinging beer from Mikeller. So
it's great. Dan is just all day yesterday, even today. He's just he's hanging out like, hey,
Yeah.
someone like, cause
I know.
can someone be my friend? not that he needs a friend, but like
He's a lifer, man. He's got full metal
I
cred.
think they got the
He's
shaft.
an amazing guy.
Them and Hammerheart got the shaft because they're upstairs.
But they've got
You
the
know what,
biggest
though?
crowd of everybody
Oh,
we've
do they?
seen. Yeah.
no, I'll say this because you got Burial, Hammerheart, McKellar, and Hydra, and everyone is chomping at the bit. So they put all 4 of them together. Dude, they have no. Trust me, they have no issue.
It's hard to get through that area there because of all the people in front of them. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
We may have spent a little bit of time up here ourselves.
I'll have to check it out because I didn't even get up here last night. I didn't have any of the beers, and I'm a huge beer freak.
Well, yeah. So I was going to ask you. So I know, you love beer. I know.
Yeah.
I know Blake loves beer too. But you were in. Have you met Adem Tepedelen from the Brewtal Truth? So did you meet him?
And I saw him. Yeah, we talked a little bit. I'm also in his book.
Right. So I was going to ask you because in that book you mentioned Orange Whip from.
Yeah, do you know the Mad Fox guys?
Yeah. So.
Do you know Bill?
Yeah, very well.
Oh, really?
Because when I
think Will's worked for every brewery in the DC area.
Oh, no kidding. Were
No,
you-
so when I left, I was the lead brewer at Port City. I left Port City. I opened up Fairwinds Brewing Company down in Lorton, and we hired Charlie away. Not, I shouldn't say away. Charlie came. Charlie
he the head
came.
brewer?
Charlie was a head brewer at
Fox?
at Mad Fox, and then Charlie became the head brewer at Fairwinds. I left Fairwinds to become the brewer emeritus and director of heavy metal operations at Atlas.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I had no idea.
I definitely know
No
all
kidding.
those. Yeah, I know them well. So I was like, it was cool to me on a local level because John and I have drank every single one of beers in that book.
Slobberknocker. Have you had Slobberknocker too from Mad Fox?
There's only 3 we haven't had so far.
Oh, really? No kidding.
So when we saw like, oh, Scott, okay, from Picture, oh, he's like literally naming a local. I mean, obviously. It's 100% Citra beer. So
Yeah, we've had. I mean, it's dry hopped. I mean, you can when it's fresh, it tastes like hop resin. Like it's, and that's the way Permanent Funeral does. Like when it's really, really like fresh, you just taste it. Like they must have dry hopped it forever because it feels like you're just biting into a hop cone.
Yeah.
You know, it's great.
that
And I know Citra is a really like trendy thing, but man, I'm a sucker for that. That sort of citrusy.
I love
It can be
Citra.
trendy. And
Love
what's
it.
weird is
I know it's 3 times as much to source that stuff than it is for
it's
other.
really expensive.
Well, I mean, I looked at like per unit, like you get Mosaic or Cascade for like what, $10 a unit, whatever it was.
It's usually like up by a pound, so it's like
Yeah.
$11 a pound is about.
It was like 3 times that for
Oh
Citra.
yeah. Because it's in high demand,
And it's also
it's
just
supply
Yakima Valley. Is that it? It's only Yakima Valley.
It may be. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a U.S. hop.
Is it proprietary, or can other people just know?
No, I think it's proprietary, so no one else is doing it.
That really
He's
sucks.
like waving his wand in front of everybody.
a couple wands going on there.
So
No, I love that beer though. Orange Whip is fantastic.
Yeah, it's great beer.
I wish you would bottle that, but he won't. He just wants people. See, he wants people to come in. Well, you probably know.
Well, what's great about it is when you say it's always fresh because when they brew it, like they're done with it in like a couple days. Like it's gone, and so if you have it, it's never stale.
Right.
Ever.
Now they're keeping it as a perpetual thing. They actually have it on tap all the time. So they're
but
on.
it still runs out so fast.
Oh, it
it's always
does.
gonna be fresh.
It does.
I live right down the street from there. And that place is.
Oh, you do?
You always run by and it's always crowded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
I was going off times to fill my growlers.
Yeah.
So you're in Falls Church?
Yeah, like the Falls Church.
Do you go to Commonwealth?
No.
There's a little beer store that does crowlers, and you can get Commonwealth. It's on 7.
Go to Dominion.
I mean Dominion.
yeah.
I mean Dominion. Commonwealth is
I don't live in Falls Church anymore.
Commonwealth is a brewery from Ocean City, Salisbury that they have
Yes.
beers from that are really good.
Yes, but
Okay,
Dominion-
sorry.
I'm-
Dominion.
I'm living in Dominion all the
Offsheet?
time. Yes.
Yeah. The crowlers are awesome, man.
Love it.
I love crowlers.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really good beers at that place too.
So that whole little strip is kind of nice there.
Yeah. I forgot was there a question that I way over answered?
No, you may have answered it, but yeah. you answered it.
We do that though. We just sort of
We just tell us
meander
we're a
through.
brewery here.
Yeah, right.
Once you start talking beer, you
That's
know.
the thing I'll never really do, man, because I know that I would not be any good. I would contaminate something, I would fuck something up, and it would just be a batch
To
of
me,
shitty beer.
It's a tremendous pain in the ass, man, because like you got to disinfect everything, and you're just so nervous about it when you start doing it at home, and it's time consuming, and you're like, well, I just fucked that up.
Although
you got to wait 4 months to find out you did that. And you're like,
My brother-in-law just bought one of those Zymatic, the Pico brews, Zymatic, and he's brewing some stellar beer. I guess you just punch up whatever recipe there is, and just feed it through that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking exactly.
He's
It's like a
actually
Keurig
done some
for
really
beer.
good. Well, it's
Kind
not
of,
Keurig.
yeah.
It's more involved than that. But
Yeah,
it
no, I
is sort of like a turnkey situation where you just let it sit and ferment for a couple weeks.
that's
afterwards.
kinda nice.
It's good. I mean, he's done some really good beers with it. You know the guys at Aslan at all?
I do not know them personally. I mean, I know of them. I never met them. I never been to Aslan.
They got a couple double IPAs that kind of taste suspiciously like Orange Whip, and I'm like, I wonder if the guy from you know what I mean?
It's Orange Whip's 100% Citra hop beer. So
That's
if
it,
you
right?
just make so if you make 100% Citra hop beer,
Yeah.
and Aslan does a lot of the New England style, so
Yeah.
it's gonna taste like
Tastes
that.
pretty similar.
Have you guys had permanent funerals since you've been here?
Yeah, I might have had a little too much of it last night.
It's not even your wheelhouse.
No, I don't really like hoppy beers for the most part, but that one kind of grows on me because it's the citra hops and it's not your traditional just bitter as fuck.
Yeah.
Slap you in the face. But yeah, I had to. We took a picture with Richard Christie, drinking it with all of us, and then I had the Charred Walls of the Damn beer, and he had the Permanent Funeral.
Oh, nice.
And I found that picture on my phone today. I don't remember doing that.
There's a couple pictures on my phone. I
Yeah,
found
like-
this morning. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I definitely had it here. I prefer it a little more on draft because it seems like it airs out a little bit better. But yeah, so
George had his first experience yesterday with it.
Yeah, I finally, because Will wasn't sharing with me, so.
Oh yeah, I juice Will up all the time. I bring a bottle here and
I know, but
there.
he didn't share it with me. No, I'm just kidding, but
Yeah.
I just wasn't around
I
to
made him
have
go-
it
I
when,
made him
when
go
you had
first
it.
beer.
So yeah, it was.
I think it is definitely fresher. I mean, it kind of falls off pretty rapidly after a couple weeks. It feels like anyway.
It
to
does
me.
because
it oxidizes.
Yes, it oxidizes because it's the hops fall off the first, and when you have such a hoppy beer and you're packaging it in a bottle,
Yeah.
So packaging in a bottle rather than a keg, it's going to oxidize a little faster. When you have that many hops and that it's going to fall off a little faster. It's a high enough alcohol that it's not. The oxidation is not going to affect it as much, but that many hops in it.
But you
it
can
is,
taste it. You can taste the oxidized hops. I mean,
Not
that's
me.
the thing. I've been kind of spoiled because there's a lot of beers that like I think back on it like it needs hop stupid. I mean, I love that beer, and then all of a sudden like I had one and it tastes like crap, and I don't think I really realized that it was probably an old IPA that just tasted funky, and that kind of put me off that beer. And I'm kind of careful now because I don't want to have my favorite beers spoiled, you know.
Yeah, check the dates.
Yeah, check the
Gotta
dates.
check the dates.
I've had some High like that was within like 2 weeks of canning that was like holy shit, and then like 4 weeks of canning, completely different beer.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just crazy.
I've noticed the same thing.
Yeah,
And
same
I
deal.
love Highlight.
Yeah,
It's
same
just
here.
Like, what is
But have you
this?
had it like within like 2 or 3 weeks? It's like
Yeah. When Dominiacs will get some that within a week, you're like, this is amazing. Then you might pick some up a month later, like, I don't know. I'm not digging this
Right.
anymore. And
Right.
it's a spectacular beer.
I bought a
Yeah.
6-pack one time. I was like, what's the hype about?
Well-
and then, but then I realized it was probably 2 months old, and then I had a fresher can. And
So one of my first whales was trading a couple bottles of 120 for Pliny the Elder, and I had it, and I was like, well, it's pretty good. But I mean, thinking back on it, it must have been old because then I went to a bar that they had it on tap in Colorado,
Yeah, where was
and it was stellar, and that's not what I tasted when I got the bottles. So I'm like, well, maybe it was just old Pliny the Elder, you
Right.
know, which can happen. And I've had some bad heady topper too, which sucks. 'cause
I've definitely had some bad heady topper.
I mean, it's when that beer is fresh and I mean that's kind of amazing beer, you know. But when it's bad, it's like, forget it.
I'd like to switch topics and point out that Scott has not tried the Decibel beer yet.
What?
Oh
Dude, I brewed that.
no, I haven't tried it yet.
Atlas went down with Champion, and we brewed it.
Oh,
and Albert from Decibel was there. Neil from Krieg was there. James, the sales guy.
out front where we're
Yeah, it's-
standing, right?
yeah, it's
okay.
So it's Atlas, so yeah.
Okay, I'll have to try that then.
A Champion has it.
A
We're not
Champion
pouring it. Champion's pouring it.
Okay.
We're pouring our Hail Satan Worship Doom beer.
Where are you guys set up?
If you're looking at
Well,
the
this is going to be
stage.
interesting in the podcast. Where are you set up?
Yeah.
Well, looking at the stage. you
Go
must
down the
have
stairs. We're on the left. We're next to True, and
Oh,
between
yeah.
True and we're next to True.
I'll have to try some tonight because last night I didn't have anything.
Hail Satan Worship Doom.
It's good, huh?
That's all right.
On, dude.
I
Black Saison.
drank your fair share of beer last night.
I think you and Adam both did.
Yeah.
A lot of broken glass in our green room.
See, that wasn't me because I would have never pulled out a Sierra Nevada even to look at it. So
Yeah, there's a lot of clues you got to put together. Like who delivered a baby in there last night?
So, what's going on with Hay Peak? Beside the potential beer, but
there's a potential for us to do a collab with Three Floyds, a Hay Peak beer. I'm working with them kind of now. I do have a split that supposedly Housecore is going to put out. It's a split with Richard Christie from the Howard Stern Show.
That's right.
He was in Death, but he uses his guinea pigs as vocalists.
I remember you telling me about that. I talked to Richard about that last night.
So that's in the works at some point. I mean, Hate Because is kind of like a whenever thing. And, you know, Sparky and John were trying to talk me into performing it live somehow. And I was like, even if I did, what makes you think you guys would be involved? I was like, I play guitar, Mark plays guitar. Why would we have you guys do it? So that's about it. Like, we might get together soon. And, you know, it's kind of whenever I come up with thematically the thing. And, like, the other day I thought of Birdhouse by the Cemetery. And, like, so I might write from that. I found a sample about parrots, some sort of satanic molestation that kids were supposedly going through, and it was untrue. But these kids were recounting stories about, like, you know, how people would abduct them and put them in, like, you know, all these, like, we flew to Brazil today and I'm back by 5 o'clock for you to pick me up. But all these ridiculous stories how satanic cult members would abduct them. And then one was that they said that a parrot pecked on their pee-pee. So, like, once I found that sample, I'm like, well, I got to write something just so I can use that.
Yeah. Pee-pee pecker.
Yeah.
But do you have to find a different bird now? I remember talking to you about this before.
No, we basically have enough
samples.
Okay. Like, it's ours. And, you know, it's kind of just combing through it. And, I mean, it's not a big secret that we reuse some of the same shit. And I don't really care what anyone thinks about it in the first place. So, yeah, that's basically it.
All right.
So, I know you guys have to play tonight, but is there anybody today playing that you're looking forward to seeing? And for that matter, was there anybody yesterday that you saw that, you know, you...
I mean, this sounds like a little glad handy, but, you know, Agoraphobic's always been one of my favorite bands of all time. Always, probably even more so than Pig Destroyer at some time in my life when I was younger. The Withered dudes, like I said, I'm friends with them. I really enjoy watching. It's always fun to watch Municipal Waste. Gets a little blurry after a certain point last night. But
Yeah, I was going to say, with all that beer,
I don't remember watching Agoraphobic. I might have. I might not have. I don't remember it. Like, when you mentioned that were technical issues, I wasn't aware of anything like that.
or that we're even playing.
No, I think somebody told me, and I think I kind of wandered out there for a minute. It was just like, oh, okay.
what about you, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, Incantation was killer last night.
Immolation.
I'm sorry, I meant Immolation.
I
Jeez.
always mix them up, too.
There's no reason for me to do that, but I mean, I meant, yeah, Immolation was awesome, and The Waste is always awesome. They're always a lot of fun.
Did you see Dave got a picture with your drummer last night?
I saw that. As we were setting up for soundcheck, he came and took a picture. That's only one small piece of it, though, to be fair. just the computer. But yeah, so they're definitely cool to watch. And tonight, I don't think I've ever seen Sleep, and I you know,
you're not going to be disappointed.
no, I can't wait.
They played at the 930 Club.
Scott wouldn't leave his house if it was on fire.
It's
man.
kind of hard. The family. I know
I
that.
got 2 kids too, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, also it's hard because that was on a Sunday night, and I get up for work at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
So it was kind of difficult. I was that close to going to that show.
Oh,
but
oh my God,
was it good?
Yeah, it
I
was
mean,
killer.
listen.
Dope Smoker?
No, I don't think so.
No.
No.
They play for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I mean, I'm just looking forward to seeing them.
Which an hour and a half is about the top
Yeah.
where I can take. I mean, unless you're Prince or.
You weren't there for Temples with us, were you? Did you see Sun?
Yeah,
like 3
I was
hours.
there. We played.
2. Yeah. Okay.
We played that year.
That's okay.
That's the only
right.
Temples
That's
there
right.
was.
That's right. Yeah, I think the Sunset was like 2.5, 3 hours.
2.5 hours. I mean, I just saw them at the 930 Club and they played for an hour and a half easy.
Oh yeah.
But they had like a Rhodes and like.
Well, they had that there.
Some. Oh, did they?
Mm-hmm. They use it for bass sub.
Yeah. No, this guy was actually playing it.
No.
And
Fender
then they had,
Rhodes?
Yeah, and then they had a dude with like a French horn.
Oh.
So it kind of broke it up a little bit more. It wasn't just like for
Yeah.
2 hours.
But who else is
I
playing?
don't know how the fuck we got Withered.
Cemetery Piss.
Yes. Chemist.
Chemist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I met fuck now, Zach
Zach.
from
True.
True
Yeah.
at Atlas, and he was a really cool guy. I'm actually stoked to hear Chemist tonight. Like, I listened to the record for the first time like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, so he's a head brewer for
He's the
True?
head brewer
He's
of
the head
True,
brewer for
and he's
True
like
and the drummer in
26
Chemist.
years
Oh, cool.
old or something
Yeah,
like that.
he's a super nice guy.
Super nice
Wow,
guy,
killer.
but he seems to be young to be a head brewer, but he's good.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's good.
I mean, I think True and Three Floyds kind of have like, I mean, True might have been the first like what I know as like the first kind of metal brewery.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, there might have been people before them, but
the first brewery that is out and out, unmistakable, unabashed. We don't care. Go fuck yourself. We're a metal brewery, and we're gonna play black metal in our tasting room. If you don't like it, go.
Right.
Yeah. Like the iconography,
I know you haven't
the
had
music.
This stuff. I think you'll like it.
It's true.
Yeah,
we're talking about true
from Colorado.
They do a lot of mixed fermentation stuff, so a lot of sour stuff. But they have a double IPA on. Yeah, it's really good.
Well, is that who made the beer when we played in Colorado?
No, that was Black Skies.
Oh, Black Skies.
And that was good.
Yeah, it was a stout. No? I don't remember.
Last Guy's a much smaller brewery.
Yeah, it was. We just had to make a whip up a dry Irish. I didn't even know they were doing it until one day somebody called me and was like, "Hey, we're making a beer. What do you want?" I was like, "I don't know, stout." They're like, "Cool, man." Click. All right. And it was very drinkable. I mean, it was very good. But
yeah, it was.
I haven't heard great things about their brewery in general, but I've never had anything else by them. So,
I'll have to try True.
I can't unfairly judge them. I don't want to judge them.
I haven't tried. I don't think I've tried True.
Try them. If you like smoked beers, go check out Austin from Panopticons. Yeah, his brewery, Hammerheart.
Smoked stout.
Yeah.
Around. Is that?
Yeah.
Do they have that?
It's upstairs. Yeah, it's Hammerheart. Oh, you gotta check it out. It's awesome.
Because I'm real into stouts, and I find that a lot of people tend to overdo it. It's like, here's a vanilla stout, and it's like, it's like when you go to Starbucks and you're like, put 10 pumps of vanilla in my fucking small coffee. It's like syrupy, and it kind of hits you over the head, and you don't get any of the roast.
Let's get them some Southern Tier creme brulee.
Yeah, I've had that. Thanks to you.
And an insulin shot.
That and the what was the breakfast stout?
That's not that sweet though.
No, but that creme brulee was really sweet.
Creme brulee, you're supposed to eat that over ice cream.
Like,
I think.
I want to drink a beer and taste a beer. That's just my thing. So I'm excited to check out a couple.
Have you had our Silent Neighbor?
When you were there
the other night.
That and when I went to the Genocide Pack show there,
Yeah.
the owner bummed a cigarette and he was like, "You're drinking on me tonight." I was like, "All right, man."
Justin's a great guy.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I don't think he should have been driving that night.
No, he should never be driving.
Maybe he didn't. I don't know, but he was like, "I gotta go, man. My wife's gonna kill me." I was like, "You own a brewery and you're at work.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want?"
She's pregnant though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, they have no idea what's coming.
Big life change. First
Yes.
kid. Big life change.
So new record, Pick a Short record next year. Anything different, unusual, the same, expanding, longer songs on the new record? Tell us about what
now the song format is a little longer.
Okay.
I would say there's a heavier Melvin's influence. We added a bass player a couple years ago, and this will be our first recording with him. So I think Scott's really kind of exploring.
I thought he was on Book Burner. No? Okay.
So I think Scott in his writing is kind of exploring like it's kind of like almost, I don't want to say a new toy because it sounds insulting, but that's not what I mean. It's like
it is. We can do a lot of things.
A new tool.
Yes, a new tool. That's way better.
We can explore some territory that we never really could before because we're all fans of Jesus Lizard and like heavier Melvin-y type stuff that really requires a bass,
But, we say that, but Scott's got 3 35-second ripping grind tracks. So right now we got to kind of fill those gaps in, but, we'll get there when we get there.
I'd say we have about 70% of the new record written.
Okay.
And ready to record.
Where are you recording it?
Scott's basement.
Well, we're gonna probably track it in my studio.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not sure who's gonna mix it yet. I think I'm gonna step away from mixing it just because I want it to not. I don't want to labor over it forever. I'd rather get it done and out because it's been so long since our last record.
And you're out you're like in Reston or
Bethesda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm in Bethesda.
Right.
So the rest of the guys. Well, no, not the rest of the guys.
Yeah,
He's in Silver Spring.
John and Adam live in Baltimore.
Baltimore.
JR's like in Sterling, and I'm in Silver Spring.
JR's, like Sterling. So
right.
I'm kind
originally
of
the band was based mostly in Northern Virginia. Scott used to live there eons ago.
Yeah, I thought you lived in like Reston or something at some point.
Time
I used
ago.
to work in Alexandria. I used to live in Alexandria, but that was a long time ago.
Question for you.
Yeah.
The song Alexandria. It's like literally like
About Alexandria.
it's like walking down King Street or something.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What was? Tell me about that song because I've always been fascinated by that
don't
song.
know.
It's JR.
That's JR.
Okay.
It's all JR. Yeah.
Okay.
I think actually that was Phantom, right?
Yeah, that's
I think I remember him kind of telling me he had kind of experienced a little writer's block, so he kind of put himself in situations to kind of force him to write. And I mean, he's always got. There's never any shortage of material with him. He's not like, hey man, we gotta wait because I don't have any lyrics. He's got books and books. So I guess it's just whatever hits him when it hits him, and he just kind of tries to write everything. He's working on a book now too, where it's done.
With the book. He's
It's
just trying
done.
to get it published.
Trying to get it published.
What kind? What's the?
It's a western.
Oh, really?
think
Like
so,
total
right?
like
Is it?
novel, western
Yeah.
novel.
Well, it's new to me.
I think it's a Western.
I had no idea that it was a Western.
None of us have ever read it.
I think it's a self-help book.
Yeah.
How to be a better cowboy?
Boy, I'd really trust that one.
Cowboy fleshlight, care and usage.
Wall mounted.
Wall
Shower.
mounting.
Yeah.
Horse mounted fleshlight.
Maybe that's not it.
When your horse is the only one around and there's nobody to see it.
On that note,
Yeah.
we'll let you guys go unless you have some other huge announcement you're
part.
dying to get out
I don't
to.
think we have anything to promote.
I'm sure I will later on. Hey, fire it up, fire it up. Yeah. But right now I'm good, yeah.
All right.
Looking forward to checking out the beer.
Yeah,
Where
come
you-
and see
Right
Piggy Story
downstairs.
tonight
Right,
whenever this
walk
airs.
right down there. 'cause
Okay, cool.
It's 5. and I gotta get down there to pour beer anyway. So
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, maybe I'll follow you down and get a sample.
yeah,
Is that cool?
Hail Satan worship. Fuck yeah.
What's the APV on that?
6.6.
That's a teeny bit.
It's manageable.
All right.
You'll be fine.
Okay, cool.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Blake, cheers. Blake, Scott, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
It's about time I finally was able to do this. I mean,
So somewhere at the end of the Pig Destroyer set, we snagged Adem.
Adem
And
Tepedelen,
Adem Tepedelen.
the author, the godfather of the Bible, really, the Brewtal Truth Guide to Extreme Beers. So this is something that John and I have wanted to do for like a long time now, and just sit down and talk with Adem, and it was great that we got to do it
He did
on.
not disappoint at all.
Oh yeah,
He actually held the interview. Almost.
No, he did, absolutely.
He pretty much was like, ask me a question, and I'm going to talk for a while, and not like, he's well spoken.
Yes. Yeah, it was cool. I enjoyed it because he is really one of the architects of this whole thing. So, finally glad to meet him.
yeah. I mean, the collision of beer and heavy metal when it comes to Decibel. I mean, a lot of it stems from Adem and his column, his monthly column, the Brewtal Truth column. And so I don't know, even though Albert, the managing editor, and Alex and all those people, James, all those people from Decibel, like brought this whole thing together. Like, I don't know if it would be in the realm of possibility without Adem. So I know it was like Albert and all those guys putting a lot of things together, but I don't think it, like, Decibel would have, like, what other heavy metal magazine puts on a beer festival? Yeah, so I just think, like, whether he wants to admit it or not, or wants to take credit or not, like, I don't think it would have been in the spectrum of possibility of Decibel doing this, a metal and beer fest without Adem. So cheers to you, Adem, if you happen to fucking one chance in hell that you're listening to this. Hello and welcome to the Metalheads podcast. My name is Will.
This is George.
And I'm John.
So we're here with Adem Tepedelen, the godfather of all things heavy metal and beer, the author of the Bible. Adem, say hello.
Hello. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
So the enthusiasm is not there yet, but it will be.
Super happy to be here.
As you can tell, it is nearing the end of the second night, and
I think Will was referring to us, not you.
I think Will's pretty well lubricated by this point.
I'm good. Like, so Adem, this is sort of, in a weird sort of way, your brainchild, the Decibel Heavy Metal and Beer Fest. I know you're going to say it's Albert's, but I mean, it's really like, it would not happen without your influence, I would say.
It was a combination of things. It certainly involved both me and Albert, but basically, in 2009, when I told Albert that, I'd been a Decibel contributor for about a year at that point, but when I told Albert that I'd won this National Beer Journalism Award, he said, "You write about beer?" I said, "Oh yeah, I won this award." And
Wait, hold on. What were you writing for Decibel before that? Just about music?
I was just writing reviews and
Okay.
just like any other Decibel contributor.
Okay.
I was just a contributor. And so I think our stories differ, but my story is that
Your story is going to be the right story, by the way.
I said that I would like to write a beer and metal story for him because I knew at that point there were metal musicians who were, diehard craft beer enthusiasts, and I just thought it would be kind of a cool thing to do. And because there weren't really, other than maybe Three Floyds, there weren't really breweries that were sort of like outright, metal aficionados or whatever, metal fans. So, but I wanted to do something metal and beer related, and my version is that he proposed that I do a column. His version is that I came to him with the idea of doing a column, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't true. Anyway, somewhere in the middle, he offered me a column, and of course I said yes. I was shocked, and so it didn't start as a metal and beer column. It simply started as a beer column in a metal magazine. And if you read some of my early columns, there was some trying to blend the two, but it was really more just about writing about beer in a metal column and just kind of see where it took us. And as I started to do this, then I realized that there were it got traction for what it's worth, and there were metalheads that were interested in beer, and then there were vice versa. So it suddenly started to all open up and unfold. Well, not suddenly, but it took a while once people started reading it and got a taste of it. And then I found that I had more opportunities to write about crossover more with the metal and the beer content. And I guess 4 years after I started doing it, about 4 years after I started doing it, I got a book deal. I basically parlayed that into a book deal, which was the Brewtal Truth Guide to Extreme Beers.
John, have you heard of this book?
I have heard of this book. It's been on my shelf. It's been in my bag. It's been everywhere with me for, 3 or 4 years now?
Hardly an episode goes by where somebody doesn't bring it up.
All right, anyway, yeah. Sorry, keep going.
Because I'd done the column for 4 years or whatever, I had a body of work that I could then pitch. I was somewhat of an authority basically at that point. I guess probably the only authority on beer and heavy metal. And I found an agent that thought that idea was as cool as I did. And they found a publisher who thought that idea was as cool as I did. And they let me do this book. And it is completely original material. Had nothing really to do with my column. My column I didn't reprint the column. I basically I wanted to write about extreme beers because, Decibel's whole tagline was, at that point, extremely extreme.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of funny because, I don't know, Decibel's very all about humor. And so I like the idea of doing extreme beers and extreme music, tying the two together and just doing a book based on that. Again, when I was promoting this book, it's not a typical craft beer book, as you guys know. I'm sure.
It's not.
But for craft beer drinkers, there was a little bit of a disconnect. They didn't really quite get what I was doing with it. And what I've said multiple times in talking about this is that it's meant to entertain as much as anything. It's not a
There's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek aspect to it.
Yeah, and in a way, it's like metal. You don't take the lyrics so much and all the stuff around it so seriously. It's entertainment. It's like a horror movie, and my book isn't hopefully like a horror movie, but it is. It is supposed to have. It's supposed to have like kind of a fun aspect to it. It's not a typical beer geeky kind of like hardcore like nerdy kind of beer book. It's nerdy, sort of metal and beer at the same time, but it's supposed to be a little less serious than your typical.
John, I think Adam just called us nerds.
That's okay. I've been called that for a while. So it's funny you should say. You say that it was all in fun, but I'd be willing to bet you now at this point you've heard plenty of people say, how did you pair that band with that beer? That doesn't match. It's not right. I'm sure you've gotten some metalheads who have gone from the fun to like taking it very serious about the matching.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, one of the funniest thing was that, in fact, since we just saw Pig Destroyer, Scott Hull, who I interviewed for the book, did not like the fact that I paired Pig Destroyer with the Rogue Voodoo Donut Maple Bacon Ale. And in fact, that was one of the sort of more, I would say, polarizing beers I put in the book. There are people that hate it or love it, and I'll stand here and say that I really like it, and I'll defend it all day, but he really did not like the fact that I did that. And that was a bone of contention.
Was Pig Destroyer paired with it because of the bacon
Yeah,
aspect?
of course.
Yeah,
I mean, that seemed obvious, but to me, maybe not. I don't know.
So
you got to destroy a pig to make bacon, right?
So literally earlier tonight, Scott was sitting exactly where you were. We did not talk about the book.
Did he talk shit about me?
Yeah. This is the beginning of the feud right here.
No, I think we've shaken hands. It's all fine, but he definitely did perturb him, and I thought, well, dude, have a sense of humor about it, because I thought it was funny, but maybe I don't know. It's his perspective is much different because Pig Destroyer's his thing, and so I get that. Yeah. But anyway, I really did try to the beer pairings thing. In fact, the first Brewtal Truth column I did,
number one.
Yeah, the first one was it was again tongue in cheek, basically giving people a style of beer, and I tried to like reach beyond like pale ale. So I was talking about like barley wines. Okay, what's the style of metal that pairs with barley wine? What's the style of metal that pairs with black metal? What's the style of beer that pairs with grindcore? And I came up with these beers. Again, all in fun, kind of like tongue in cheek. I think I paired stoner metal with this BC beer called Hophead Pale Ale.
BC being British Columbia?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, that's where I had the idea of like pairing beer with music. And since then, it's sort of become, I've noticed like Men's Journal or Men's Health had Graveyard pairing like beers with music and stuff like that. So it's
Graveyard from Sweden?
Yeah. They did this thing where they were like pairing beers with music and stuff, and so I'm not taking any credit for it, but I'm just saying it's...
No, take credit. do it. Go ahead, do it. I'll take credit for it.
I do get people contacting me via social media. They're like at home drinking a beer. What would you pair with this?
Really?
Yeah. What album? What goes to this? And I think it's kind of a fun challenge. And if I were to do another book, one thing I would like to do is
wait, stop. Not if. When?
If I do another book,
when?
Because I have no control over this, I would like to do something.
You're doing it.
I would like to do something that's kind of purely about that aspect. And last night when I was talking with Dave Mustaine about his beer, I had this idea of, okay, so you've come out with your own beer. What of your albums would you compare it to? Not necessarily pair it with, but I kind of put it to him. What would you? And it was amazing because he actually thought about it. He's like, that's a good question. He thought. And he came out with the exact album that I had come out with that I thought would pair perfectly with his beer.
Which was?
Countdown to Extinction.
Okay.
Because this beer it's not Killing Is My Business beer. It's not dystopia. It's sort of like that period where it's this beer is kind of refined, it's complex, has an intensity to it in its own way, which I thought, okay, well that's kind of like that album where they transitioned from being like a thrash band to sort of being like a pro metal band. May not be my favorite Megadeth album, but
the song being from Euthanasia, I think Euthanasia would probably not be the album you want to associate with a drink.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that I didn't even take that into consideration, but yeah. Anyway, I like the idea of, and even when I think when I talked to Sam Calgione from Dogfish, when I interviewed him for the book, we talked a little bit about music and beer pairings, and he was fully on board. Although his his ideas about it were they weren't metal related, but he liked the idea of like, you buy an album you're totally stoked about, and then what are you gonna drink while you're listening to this album, you know? And he liked the idea of like, you get a good craft beer that's gonna sort of like enhance this experience. And so you can do that with any genre of music, you know? They've done tributes to like Miles Davis, things like
Bitches
that.
Brew.
Yeah, so which I'm down with, but you know, you maybe choose a different beer for that than you might for Pig Destroyer. So.
Right. And I know you've seen on Twitter lately that our friends, I guess mutual friends at Joy Theory.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of the heavy metal iconography. I know Mark Osborne is the owner of it, and he's a diehard metalhead. And I went up and did a collaboration beer with them called Metal as Fuck. But they were literally thinking like they pair food and cigars on the labels. Why not music? And I think you were on that Twitter thread there. Like, so I think, and I was talking to our folks at Atlas. I'm like, we need to start pairing it, and we do it like on the date code labels on the bottom. Like, so if we, like one day we were listening to Bolt Thrower when we brewed the beer. So on the bottom of the date code, on the bottom of the can was Bolt Thrower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Hydra guys, they sent me some beer last year, and they actually did that on the bottles. Now, these were sort of like silkscreen bottles that were kind of generic because they were doing, I think, like, you know, small batch stuff on there, but they had these spaces on the back where they could put in information, and they actually had like pair with, and they mentioned like metal bands, I think. So, I mean, it's, I don't know, it seems totally reasonable to me. We're here at a metal festival, metal/beer festival, drinking beer, listening to bands, and so certainly you could make the argument that certain beers you're enjoying here might pair well with certain kinds of bands based on the style of music that they play. Well,
No, exactly.
it seems feasible to me.
Yeah. I mean, this is like, I think you mentioned it as your Super Bowl this weekend.
Yeah, I think it's better than that in a way, because Super Bowl is only one day. This is 2 days, right? And for me, I've gotten to make a lot of new friends, and also meet a lot of people that I sort of knew just through social media and that sort of thing. And it's been amazing. And also, obviously, I got to see these bands, and yeah, I mean, I couldn't have asked for anything better. Decibel did an amazing job putting this thing together and bringing all these people together, and I hope it continues.
So,
you know?
so that's what we've all been thinking about is. So we've all been at Maryland Death Fest, and that was sort of like or barbecue. That's sort of like the summer ritual. This is the spring. Is this going to be the spring ritual? Do you know? Tell me the inside data.
The intention is that this will be repeated, and hopefully it will be this time of year. You know, one of the challenges, as you know, being in the business, there are all these other things that happen over the course of the year, whether it be CBC, you know, the Craft Brewers Conference, or whatever. There are numerous different things, GABF. So it's a matter of like finding the time slot where people like yourselves and Nick from True and all these people can clear their schedule and say, okay, yeah, we'll be there. So if this works, you know, there's also the McKellar thing in Denmark that happens shortly after this, and you know, there's Dark Lord Day.
Savers coming up in another month.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of shit. So
my 2 cents, I would highly recommend either you combine this with the Craft Brewers Conference, because they're all going to be in whatever, and just have the Decibel Metal Beer Fest follow around the Craft Brewers Conference if the focus is the beer. Now, obviously, then you have to have the bands. Or, because this is what happened this weekend, is you just had the Craft Brewers Conference 2 weeks ago.
yeah,
And then you had this in towns that are only like 2 and a half hours apart.
Right.
Is I know there was a lot of people like, dude, I just was away for a week Craft Brewers Conference, and then it's like, oh, well, then we got this, the Decibel Magazine Heavy Metal Beer Fest. So it's like, it was almost too close together, and breweries, they make no money. They're on this limited budget. So I would say my personal suggestion is, always having to Washington, D.C. When I tell you guys that I'm available. No, but seriously, like, having it in Philly, it's my hometown, unbelievably awesome.
Yeah.
But
Well, the venue really kind of lent itself to this too.
It worked out well. Yeah. I can't speak beyond what we've talked about as far as the future holds for it. But I the intention is this won't be the first. So what it is next year, I don't know, and when it's held, I don't know. But so Decibel and Albert spearheading this started the Decibel tour 6 years ago.
Yeah.
They've been doing that for 6 years. That's a huge undertaking. I mean,
and I was literally at that tour in Philly last weekend, and I came back up. Yeah, like, no, it was all unbelievable. Like, I could not go to see Creator and Obituary in the same show. Like, it just wasn't going to happen for me, and I came.
So I Albert commits to these things, and now he has some great help from Alex and other, people that are part of the Decibel team now. So I'm guessing that it will continue on, and hopefully in the same. I mean, personally, I love the venue here. The funny thing is when it was originally announced that this was happening, officially announced, once we had all the brewers locked in, it was like all these people came out of the woodwork that said, "Whoa, I want to be part of this," and which is great because
our buddy Steve Jones from Oliver.
Yeah. So it's only going to get bigger, I presume, and better. Better. Not this isn't fantastic, but it will. I think there'll be more brewers, and also. I mean, who knows? Maybe someday it'll be a 3-day festival. I don't know, but it's. I think that the intention is to do this again.
Awesome.
So whatever happens.
That's exactly what we all wanted to hear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it seems like it's been pretty successful so far. I mean, from all corners, I mean, it seems like everyone's happy.
Just from what I've seen, I go to Prague Power every year in Atlanta. This is 17 years now. 18 years I'm going. It's the same people, it seems like.
Yeah.
Half the crowd.
Yeah.
How many people did we say we knew here just from DC alone?
Mm-hmm.
I think
it's insane.
Do a second year and I bet you see the same people. And then it keeps growing after that with all new people.
Yeah.
And I think you get a base. I think this could go forward without not a hitch, but I think you'll have the pull from people.
Yeah, there's. So obviously, I'm with Atlas Metalheads podcast. We're all DC area based, and I saw God knows how many people. By the way, last weekend at the Decibel tour, I mean there was like 20 people from the DC area, and today like you got Metal Chris and his girlfriend Randy. Chicken Man's here. Yes, Chicken Man's here. Warren from Black Flag was here last night. Like, you had all these people who traveled from DC. Aside from us and the breweries, it's amazing. Like, everybody wanted to come to this.
Yeah. See, it kind of makes sense to me. People have said, why don't you do one on the West Coast? But in a way, it kind of makes sense to have it in a place like Philly or Baltimore or somewhere that's...
No.
All right. Well, Philly. But where the concentration, of the dense, there are all these big cities that are within a couple hours of each other. It makes sense to have it in a place like Philly. So, I mean, it's where Decibel's based and all that.
Yeah.
And if the breweries are willing to, at the very least, make sure their beer is available here. I think it's awesome that really a lot of the brewers made a huge effort to be here personally at, great expense. I know it's not easy and bring their crews. There could be situations where in the future their beer is poured by reps, whether it be their distributors or whatever. It may not necessarily have to be the brewers themselves, but I love the fact that most of the brewers are here pouring.
I think maybe one or two breweries that I've met here, there may be somebody who's like a rep, but that may be the person who's brewing the beer, pouring the beer at that particular time. But there is a brewer or an owner or somebody here. Like people, you said, like people went above and beyond. Like yesterday we had 7 people from Atlas here.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Everybody
pretty
wanted to
impressed.
come. It was great.
Yeah, and even in the case of McKellar, where you don't get like, you know.
But you get Denny Lilick.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's the trade-off, right?
Yeah, I'm okay with that, you know.
Yeah,
but it would be great if.
Who? What? Oh,
Yeah.
Danny? Oh, yeah.
What bands have you been in?
Danny
Yeah.
Heather? Yes, please.
And it was actually probably more appropriate that he was here, you know, in the sense that he, you know, is such an icon in the extreme music world. So I was thinking about that. I was talking to them about how, you know, it's one thing for the Metalheads to come here and, you know, interact with the brewers and stuff like that. And in this context, a lot of these brewers are brewers. But in like more of a beer fest context, some of these guys would be rock stars on their own, you know, like they would be sort of rock stars in their world. And with like Danny, you know, being a rep here for McKellar, it's like he's the focus in a way, you know, and so I know it's I thought it was great that he's representing them.
And I think you hit it right on the head, because if you go to like Savor or Craft Beer Conference or Great American Beer Fest and you see a guy like Jim Cook or Sam Caggione or something like that, like they are the rock star. Or
well, I mean, from my own experience, like Todd Haug, when I go to beer festivals, it would be like I'd see a lot of the brewers, some of the bigger brewers in the industry, like talking to Todd. I mean, that guy knows everybody. You know, he's very well respected, and he's like a no nonsense kind of no ego kind of brewer guy. Where he literally, when I was doing my book, or had the idea to do my book, and I didn't really know all these people, he did know all these people. And when I was at GABF in Denver, 2012, he took me and introduced me to all these people that he knew, you know, just on that level. And so yeah, I mean, there are people that are in the beer world sort of stars, and that, you know, I don't know.
There's a couple of people, like you're saying, who cross over, like Todd, head
Yeah.
brewer, or I guess now director of operations at Three Floyds.
Yeah.
Or, you know, left Surly, went to Three Floyds, or like the guy who just walked through here, Zach.
Yeah.
Zach,
Sure.
drummer and chemist.
Yeah.
Unfucking believable show tonight. And a head brewer at True.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple of people out there that like, they blend perfectly into the colliding, as I like to say it, the craft beer and the heavy metal world.
Well, the guys at Hydra as well, I mean, they're not in famous bands or whatever nationally known bands, but they're metal musicians, and the fact that they're sort of like doing both things, you know, they're creative in two different worlds, I think it gives them a unique perspective on this world, as it were, you know, like the Decibel Metal and Beer Fest world, because, you know, they know all the metal bands, you know, they are totally down with that world, but then they're also good brewers. They make interesting beer, cool beer, and they can talk beer and they can talk metal. So I think that's kind of what this whole thing is all about, really.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. And you know what? The last thing I'll sort of say about this that I really appreciate is that if you look at the whole range of the brewers that are here, they also have their own unique take on things, both brewing wise and metal wise, for what it's worth. Like, the one thing I love about Burnt Hickory is you know,
You love that Scott Hedin is crazy.
Scott, he's crazy, but that dude knows
I've known Scott for years.
music. Like, he's an encyclopedia, and he has all these. Before he was a commercial brewer, he was brewing beers for bands just as a hobby, and that's how I found out about him. Like, before he was actually a commercial endeavor. and then he sells his incredible record collection, or a portion of it, so that he can actually start this brewery. And then I finally got to taste his beers once he sort of became a commercial endeavor, and I was blown away. I mean, he not only knows his music, he knows his beers, and he makes great beer. And he's a nut, he's crazy, and I love that about him. But he's like, so there's that end of the spectrum, and then there's like the Nick Nunn's end of the spectrum, who is into like
Nick Nunn's
completely
from True,
and like makes completely different beers, completely different guy, like amazing guy, but but we're all within this world in the same way. There's like tons of different metal genres and subgenres. It's the same thing within the whole brewing industry. People making different kinds of beers. And influenced by different kinds of music.
Yeah, it's funny because it was a couple months ago that something clicked in my head where it's like, you almost make fun, and so I'm obviously as a brewer, like I make fun of sort of like the sub-genres of different beers. Like, oh no, that's not a black IPA, that's a sour black IPA, dry hop New England style Russian Imperial Stout. But you have the same thing in music, it's a Black and Death, hardcore, progressive, post-metal band. It's like, but I do love the fact like there are all these sub-genres everyone's trying to put a niche into, or like put it like, but so that's why I think like they blend in a weird sort of way, like they go together, because you have these two they're artists, one's a musical artist, one's a brewing artist. And everyone's trying to like put their own take on a style. So the style is like, okay, you have heavy metal, all right, or you have beer, but now you're trying to like put your own take on that. So like, I'm not a death metal band. I'm a black and death metal band. I'm not an IPA. I'm a black and IPA. I'm a black rye IPA. I'm a black high gravity rye IPA. Like you just go like down in the genres and stuff like that.
I felt that way with Hammerheart and Panopticon. Here they are, atmospheric black metal band, and they have smoked beers here. I was like, that's just perfect. It worked out perfect for them, I thought.
Yeah. Well, if you think about, so in the early 80s, let's say, late 70s or whatever, when heavy metal was sort of acknowledged as heavy metal, because before that it was like, it wasn't really heavy metal. It wasn't called heavy metal. It was hard rock or whatever. It had a lot of different names, but it sort of became heavy metal in the late 70s and early 80s. And so all the bands during that era kind of fell under just one umbrella. They were heavy metal bands, but they were very different in a lot of ways, because Motley Crue is basically lumped in with Judas Priest, was lumped in with Rat, was lumped in, so there were all these bands that just fell into the heavy metal umbrella. In the same degree that in the nascence of the craft beer movement in the United States, it was just craft beer. And what they were making was just takes on English style ales back then. It wasn't really, there was no Belgian influence, no really, a little bit of Germanic influence, but it was mostly just English style ales that they were doing like North American versions of. And so it's grown and changed, and to the point where it's like there are now subgenres in metal, tons of subgenres in metal. Like the term, if you just call some band a heavy metal band, that doesn't work anymore, because there's no heavy metal bands. Like, what does that mean anymore? Back then it meant something, because it was like, oh, they're a heavy metal band. But now it's the same thing with what you're saying with craft beer, is that there isn't just craft beer anymore. It's like there's so many influences, and everyone's doing a take on this. So they're doing a take on English styles, Belgian styles, and they're mixing it all up. They're like, it's anything goes. It's the same thing in metal, right? You get bands now that's like, I don't even know what to call them, because they got a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
A great example, Kevin Ems, who you've interviewed, up in British Columbia at, I forget the name of his brewery. What's it called?
Granville Island.
Granville Island. Yeah. He's in the band Halocatharsis.
Yeah.
Drummer for that band. Literally in one song, I think they will cover every fucking genre of music
Right.
Like literally, like it's insane. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like I met Kevin for the first time. He was at CBC.
Oh, cool.
Came to the heavy metal night. So Kevin, if you're listening, shout out to you. Gave me a couple of CDs. I gave you one of them to check it out. But like, what I love about it is like it's genre bending. There's no specific. You can't just like, oh, this is death metal.
Right.
Or this is black metal. Like, no, this is blackened death, jazz, infusion, thrash. Like you name it, and it's like, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's brewing. That's metal in a way.
Yeah.
It's all there aren't as many rules, I think, in a lot of ways. So I don't know. I appreciate that, and I think it means if the people listening to the metal are open-minded, then potentially they could be open-minded regarding the beers that they're trying, and they don't have to be like, oh, I only like dark beers, or I only like, hoppy beers or whatever. It's like, well, try a sour beer. Maybe you'll like that,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And depending upon how old a person is and what they were sort of like raised on, what they grew up on, I can like the, what people today would call like hair metal, glam metal bands. But back then when I was listening to them,
That was just
metal
heavy
bands,
Yeah.
I can like them, and I can also like Sleep, and then the two have very little in common other than like maybe distorted guitars or whatever. But in the same way that I could like a session-worthy Kolsch or something like that, and like a barley wine. So why can't I like both? I would have them in different circumstances, right? So I wouldn't be, if I wanted something that was mellow and not mellow, but maybe not sort of like pounding my brain, I would listen to stoner rock. If I wanted something that was like pumping me up, I would listen to Municipal Waste. Same thing with like drinking a beer. If I wanted something that was refreshing, I would drink a Kolsch. If I wanted something that was, I could sip and savor, I would drink a Russian Imperial Stout. So, I don't know.
Speaking of Sleep, I think they're playing right now.
They are.
We should go.
Right there. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I didn't even like giant screen.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, there's like a giant screen in front of me that I couldn't see through.
Fuck you.
Adam, thank you.
Yes,
Seriously,
thank you for your time.
This has been a long time coming, especially for
I'm glad I
these
could be
two
part of it.
guys.
Hey, look, we're in the same room. That's amazing. So
I
that's
know.
good.
Like, yeah.
Hopefully it'll
But
happen again. Maybe
book-
next year.
Next book, like make some of the beers easier for us to find if we want to endeavor in this again.
What's the fun in that?
Yeah,
I like the way that you worked for it.
Oh, we did. You have no idea the shit
I
that we
helped
pulled.
too. I
oh no,
shipped
you
you guys
said
some
yeah.
stuff.
You said it like
Yes.
Morning Wood. No, was it Morning
Sun
Wood?
in the morning.
Sun in the morning. Yeah.
Morning wood. What,
Morning
I want to know.
beer was that?
I'm just thinking what I'm gonna. I'm just gonna think what I'm gonna
Morning
have
Wood when I sent him
tomorrow
Sun in the
morning
morning.
with George.
These guys spent all this time tracking down and trying all these beers. How did you put all of this together? Finding all these. I mean, we already talked about the pairings, but how did you hunt down all these, exotic beers that nobody would even hardly know about without the book?
Well, part of the preparing to write the book was creating a proposal, and so I basically made a list of beers I wanted to include in the book. Just doing research, and I was really focusing in on. I had my sort of like categories, and so I made up a big list, about 130 or so beers. And then I set about contacting the breweries. And, the interesting thing is, as I went, I heard about other beers that kind of fit the bill, through just knowing people, talking about people, doing research. And, I apologize, but some of the ones that are hard for you guys to get, I didn't realize they were going to be so hard. But like the
We didn't realize they're like the two knuckleheads from DC are like, hey, these guys are gonna try and drink every beer in this book.
Well, you know what? Honestly, it was my intention. Every single person I contacted, I said, is this beer going to be available in the future? Not is it going to be available year round, but will you do it again? And everyone said yes, because I wouldn't use the beer if it was just like one.
Liars!
So there's the 666 from Diamond Knot,
yeah.
and they believe me, they said they would, but apparently I didn't realize it was going to be like 666, whatever.
Yeah,
You know, the next
666 turns, and the next production brewery.
Yeah. And then the other one was the Three Floyds Ride a Tiger. And I'm sure that when they said that, they actually meant that. But for whatever reason, it just didn't happen.
Wait, Adam, what's the third one?
Yeah, I don't know.
Thrash metal.
Oh, see, that's an odd one because I would have guessed that they would have continued making that. But
Yeah. So did we.
yeah.
They're the three that we didn't get.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
actually said Three Floyds and asked about Ride the Tiger, and the response was, we'll just come in and we decide that day we're going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that doesn't work.
Doesn't work for us.
I mean,
we're on a quest.
We are
We're on a
incomplete.
A mission
Yeah.
from God.
You know, when I
I got half plastic cigarettes. I'm wearing sunglasses. I got going to Chicago, whatever it is from Blues Brothers. Yeah.
when I was doing the book, they had released it earlier in the year, that brew, so I was aware of it, and I said, can I write about it in my book, you know? And they're like, oh yeah, no problem, we'll get it to you. And then it was like, yeah, I don't know if we have any more. Then it was like, oh, we found a case somewhere in the back, you know, so it's not super fresh, but we'll send it to you. So I said, fine, that's good. And that should have been my clue that maybe they weren't committed to brewing this anymore in the future. But anyway, most of them you got, so good for you.
We got
Congratulations.
110 out of 113.
whatever it is, we're 3 short.
Yeah, we're 3 short. The 3 we just literally just talked about.
Should get some kind of plaque for that.
Yeah, we should, right?
Yeah.
Do you know
The
a guy?
almost there award.
Do you know a guy gives a plaque?
No, I don't. But
All right, Sleep's playing.
Yeah, we should probably go check them
go.
out.
all right.
All right,
Thanks,
thank you, Adam.
Pleasure.
Thank you
Thanks for having me
so
on.
much.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah, I
huge
love
pleasure.
I love
an
this.
honor.
Thank you.
Let's go see Sleep.
Okay.
Let's do it. Yeah, and it would have been nice to get Albert, but you know, every time you saw him, he was running around doing something. So I don't know. Will, you know him a little bit. Maybe we could just get him on sometime separately to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't think that would be, I mean, just if we just get him on Skype or something like that, because he's in Northern Virginia, so we'll figure it out. Yeah.
Excellent.
But he's like us, like, you know, he's married with two. Well, I should say he's like me, married with 2 kids, so he's busy. Weekends are busy and taken up. So, but we'll find time. We'll figure it out.
Excellent. And so somewhere previous to this, I managed to. I was actually after the Chemist set. I went out to their merch, and John's like, "You're fucking going there, aren't you?" Yeah. Well, the only reason I bring it up is because of the kindness of someone.
Oh, I know.
So I got out to the set. I got out to the Chemist merch booth, and Phil and Ben were working it. And there's a big ass line. I'm like, yeah, why did I pick a better time to fucking come out here and get merch? And but anyway, I was like, do you got any shirts in my size? And they're like, I don't know. And I was like, Dan said he thought you did. So they're like, yeah, okay. And they spent a few minutes like digging through everything, and they found one, and you know, I bought it, and off I went. And I guess apparently during the Adem interview, we were up in the press room. There was like nobody else in this room for the majority of it. There was like 1 or 2 people that came and went. But I must have set down my Chemist t-shirt. And at the end of the Adem interview, we're all like, oh, Sleep's playing, we gotta go. And so I must have gotten up and walked off without my shirt. And by the time I got downstairs, I was like, shit, I don't have my shirt. I turned around like 3 minutes later, walked back up there, no shirt, it's gone. Somebody made off with it, or it just spontaneously fell into a black hole and disappeared. I don't know. I got a little grumpy for a little while.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. Tomorrow we're going to be driving back, and I'm going to hear, what is this in my jacket? My fucking shirt's in the jacket.
Believe me, I checked every damn pocket in that vest going, I didn't stick this somewhere, because I didn't remember putting it down.
Have you checked your butt cheeks?
But because the interview with Adem was so long, I kept switching from hand to hand with the microphone. And so at some point I set it down. I don't recall doing it. And So it was gone, and so I was kind of grumpy. I was like looking around for the shirt, and then I was like,
you got one.
yeah. So then I went to the chemist booth to see if they had any more, and there was nobody there. It was just, there were other booths people there, but there was nobody, and I correctly deducted that the guys in chemist would be watching Sleep.
Yeah.
So I went back in for a little while, and then I went back out again and checked again, and I ended up just waiting out there for Sleep to finish, so that when somebody came to pick up their merch, I could ask. And Dan was the first one out there, and I'm like, dude, I fucking lost my shirt. Somebody took it. Do you have another one in my size? And he's like, we have one more. And I whipped out my wallet and...
Excuse me while I whip this out.
And I tried to pay for it, but Dan, being the incredible gentleman that he is, refused to let me pay for another shirt. So thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. You saved my evening.
Actually, I'd like to say thank you, Dan. You saved Will and John's evening.
I would not. I was pretty resigned to the fact that I fucking wiped my ass with $20.
Fuck.
I was not that grumpy.
You didn't see your face when we were watching Sleep.
Yeah.
Well,
Literally, I went over to you, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, Sleep is playing. You were a grumpy fuck.
allow me a couple minutes to mourn the loss of my money and my shirt, But I got over it. I was like, whatever. I went online and confirmed that I couldn't order one, so that made me happier. And but it all worked out in the end. So thank you, Dan. And right after that, I met up with Will and John again, and we.
Well, do we want to talk about Sleep at all playing?
No. See, because that was pretty much my experience with Sleep. Sorry, I got ahead of everything. Carry on.
I mean, Sleep brings it. I mean, Matt Pike, he doesn't like shirts. He does not.
He had a little bit of a belly.
He fucking hates shirts, and he doesn't care. And he's got a big giant crow tramp stamp or something. But
his whole back is all tatted out. His ass is hanging out of his pants, and he's just sludging out heavy fucking doom riffs, and it was pretty cool.
yeah, I literally spent part of the time trying to figure out are these guys actually playing? Like, I forget the lead singer and bassist's name, but is he actually playing bass? And is Matt literally, is he playing the guitar, or is it all a track? Because the way they integrate between because it's a trio, so it's a drummer, bassist, and a guitar player. The way the sound comes out, you would think there's 3 guitar players and 5 people playing bass or something like that. It's amazing that they can get that kind of sound just out of one bass player and one guitar player, and he's playing a lot of riffs half the time. And then, it's it was amazing to me to watch. I was mesmerized by trying to watch Matt Pike play. Matt is his name. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Matt Pike play. Who hates fucking shirts? Sam Puffenbarger. Who it just seemed unworldly that he the sounds were coming out of that guitar when the other guy, the lead singer and the bassist. Did you ever watch? I mean, did you watch him? He's almost playing lead guitar on the bass, and he's using a pick up on the neck, not back on the frets or anything like that.
It's almost like he wasn't tapping, but he was playing in that area almost like he was tapping a little bit when he was picking. So it was different.
It was amazing.
I have to say, I found it interesting that here I am seeing Sleep that's got maybe a little bit of a cannabis influence. And I'm thinking everyone's just
the lighting was green, by the way.
Oh, yes, it was.
And I thought everyone's just going to hang out there and just kind of head bob slow. I've never seen so many people so high jumping around and going crazy. It was wild. I mean, here he's playing these slow riffs, and everyone's just going nuts. I got punched by Will in the chest. I was like, hey, man, I thought we were supposed to be hanging out right now.
No, Sleep is so good. Yeah.
And it is something that we will be trying to experience very soon. Ourselves. Sleep. Going to sleep. It is late.
I'm fucking exhausted. Yeah. Oh, but I want to give a huge shout out to Alex from Horrendous. He was there tonight. He was there last night. Yeah, and we just hung out and talked like for a long time. Probably the most affable, nicest, happiest dudes in metal. Like, he almost has no business being in metal because he's so fucking happy. And yeah, like, so I was like almost making fun. Like, Alex, if you're listening to this, like, I'm making fun of you because you're always so happy. Like, you're on stage and you like don't look like like you don't. But he's so excited to be playing. Like, it's his dream. Like, he cannot even believe, in a weird sort of way, the gist of what I got is like, I'm a bass player in Horrendous. Like, how the fuck am I not going to be happy? So I saw Alex a bunch of times last night and tonight. So
speaking of friendly, affable people, Arthur Rizek also stopped by again and said hello to us. Every time he saw us, he came over and was like, "Hey man, how's it going?"
Yeah,
everything, cool. And so that was really nice. So thank you, Arthur. So yeah, it was good. Anything else before we sign off?
I just really, really, really hope that they do this again next year and every year.
Yeah, I'm down. This will be my earlier festival, and then Prague Power will be my end of year festival. So I'm down with 2. It was good. I enjoyed it.
As did I. All right, from Philadelphia, this is the Metalheads podcast. We'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Good night.
You hear that? That's the sound of the road. John and I are headed home, and Will has already gone his separate way, and we just thought we would tie things up with a little bit of happy trails, and we want to thank some people as well. But John, do you have any final words on the weekend?
It was a great weekend. It was fun to see all the bands. It was fun to drink all the beer, and it was fun to see a lot of people that we already knew personally, and some people that we had met via social media or other bands that we had met through any kind of interviews or at shows and stuff. It's kind of a cool little setup of a ton of people around. And it seemed like there were a lot of groups, even if we didn't know someone, there were a lot of other groups of people that knew each other there. It wasn't just like a lot of people just on their own. I kind of like that. So,
yeah, it was cool. Before we go, I made a little list of names that I wanted to shout out. First of all, Steve Jansen from Crypt Sermon. We didn't manage to squeeze in an interview with Steve, but we did spend some time talking with him, and it was good to meet him after having him on the last episode. We also met up several times with Arthur Rizek of everything. If you listen to metal, you've probably heard something he's done. Incredibly nice guy. Every time he wandered by, he stopped over to say hello and see how we were doing. That was much appreciated. Like to thank Scott and Blake from Pig Destroyer for doing the interview with us. It was real nice of them to take some time out of all the fun things they could have been doing at the Decibel Fest to give us like a half hour of their time. Likewise, Adem Tepedelen giving us a really great interview about beer and metal and the Brewtal Truth guide and all that good stuff. So thank you, Adem. I also want to say thanks to Dan and the Chemist guys. As always, classy and just wonderful, nice guys. So thank you for everything. We want to thank Albert from Decibel for putting on the whole shindig. As I know we mentioned in the last little bit we did, we're all hoping that this will be a second annual come next year. So make it so. And we'd also like to thank all the great people from the various breweries who talked to us and, gave us the samples and, maybe gave us little extra samples and just good conversation. So it was a really fun weekend, and we appreciate everything everyone did for us, and we hope to see you next year.
Yeah, I hope we do it again. I'd like to make this a regular thing. So I think we already talked about that last night, but yeah, it would be cool.
All right. So until next time, whenever that is, see ya.
Bye.